Okay, so welcome to the Invasion, session 46. It is one day shy of its 1 year anniversary, but fuck it, it's the anniversary session now. So, yeah. It's the anniversary, everybody.
Yay!
Congratulations!
And
Yes, 1 week anniversary.
ironically, Fleabite, being the one that gets the benefit from the anniversary, is apparently the only one that gets to sit on top of the anniversary logo, which was, good enough. Good enough.
Don't hate that.
Don't hate the player, you know.
Yeah. So let me send that to the map player. There we go. There is everybody.
I think it's more apt than ironic. Fitting that you, the first among us, should stand atop the logo.
First among us is a terrifying thing to refer to Fleabite as. But
Well, I just felt
mhm.
the words were good and made them go.
I mean, sure. I too.
That
Indeed.
English degree coming in real well.
English make communicate thing from brain to person outside self more easy.
This
I
is
mean,
so
now you're
weird.
just channeling Fleabite.
Yeah, a little bit, yes. That really did sound like.
So I have had a thought about my stream layout for RP, right? So see if you all look at the stream temporarily. See, I've got the banner and everything at the bottom. We've got chat at the bottom, and we've got my face at the bottom. I was thinking about maybe changing all of that and having it where the main body, like the window itself, is like floor length, as it were, top to bottom. And I'll put my picture in the diagonal opposite corner above chat. So we've still got chat underneath it. There'll be no, obviously, Twitch or Twitter or whatever. And then I can just have the actual Twitch chat overlay just over the top of the chat that's actually the Roll20 chat as well. So it would still fade away after a certain couple of seconds. It would show up when people in the audience chat. I think that might look better, but what are your thoughts on that? I figured we may as well just outsource these ideas. Does it look better, or do we think it's fine as is?
I think it's quite clean as is, and words then appear on top of other words in our chat. It could be a bit messy, but it might just make it easier to see.
I mean, keep in mind, you would never see the Twitch chat overlaying on Roll20 because you would be watching your Roll20 screens, not your Twitch streams. And
yes, but
watching back,
see this Twitch screen fairly often.
So yeah, I don't know. It's a thought I'm having at the moment because I do want to work out overlays. Like I want to deal with my actual Tales of Triumph overlays at some point because I still haven't really settled on design. I think I'm going to go for some kind of deep emeraldy foresty green with gold borders, I think is what I'm going to settle with. I needed something generic enough to suit the channel, not just a specific stream. And who can go wrong with some Latverian green and gold? So, very on brand. Or Rune Stadion,
Oh yeah, very different.
Yes.
Legally distinct,
Yes.
one may even.
But anyway, so what to do is remember from last time on the invasion.
There was a new elf. I mean, he's probably been an elf for some time, but he was new to us.
That's true. Yep. I think what I'll do is maybe go back a step and actually finish my introduction, which is I'm Ryan, the GM. It's the 14th of April, 2021. Here are the players, and then they can actually introduce themselves.
Yep, so I am Tom, and I play Eltris, the new elf. He's also a barbarian, but he's been a barbarian for a while, just new to elf.
Okay.
Good evening, my name is Alexander, and tonight I'll be playing Fleabite the Skaven, who I don't think anyone involved in creation of his character would have thought would still be here 1 year later. So
There's always tonight to kill him off.
Exactly. Challenge accepted. But I am glad that he's glad and surprised that he's lasted this long.
Yeah, right.
Good hello everyone. I'm playing a changeling who's currently in the body of a human named Vega.
Nice.
Hmm.
Bard. Something about a bard.
Yeah.
And hello from me, me being Colin, who will be playing Vanger, who is a dwarven druidy clericy man, person, dude.
Yeah.
Guy. Chap. Fellow.
Does
Lad?
yeah,
Yeah, lad.
all round Chad.
Yeah.
So we're not going with Vigore then. We're keeping Vigor.
Forgot it? Oh, I forgot about that.
I like Vhagar. It's like a
Mhm.
zone of the guy from the guy from Ghostbusters. Which character am I
Igor?
thinking of? No, one of the
Oh, the assistant guy.
no. There's like who? Right, what's Vigo? Yeah, it's got a little of it's got a little Vigo, the Carpathian, right? It reminds me of that slightly.
Fair.
And yeah,
So
I don't know.
I could go like Viego.
Yeah, I mean it's your character's persona. The steps in that my brain had to do was just like your character's persona. So
I
interesting.
guess I haven't even introduced him yet.
True. Interesting. I don't have notes written for at the start of this other book. I've been moving. One of my notebooks ran out, so I've had to move to a new notebook, and it's caused all forms of chaos. So, did I write notes for last session? No, I didn't. The last session didn't happen, guys.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Where are we here?
So, rewinding back.
44. And then where does 44 end? That's fine.
There were
Is this
sewers.
45? This must be 45 then.
This is definitely 46.
No, I don't mean. I'm talking about my notes.
Oh, right.
Because those are the notes I'd be missing would be 45. That's fine. I'm going to just assume that nothing crucial to the plot happened last time. Definitely
Most
not.
of my notes are all about Elchis's story, so
Fair?
really.
You were kind of instrumental in that.
I do have the notes that, and I don't remember the context, but Blargan's Day equals Thursday,
Yeah.
and Von Rune laughed twice.
Yes. I mean, I remember the context of those specific things.
We
Because
need to find out what the Watchers eat.
I don't remember
Babies.
that. Sure.
Maybe.
Okay, TI 45. That can just be this section. And I don't even have my favourite pen. God, this day is terrible already. Oh, here it is. I found my favourite pen. The day got better.
Are they the Watchers of the Crimson Mirror or River?
Mirror.
Okay.
Like, hear me roar. You know? Mirror.
Ah, yes. I am woman. Here's the mirror.
Yes.
That's the quote, isn't it?
Sure. That'll do, pig. Right, anyway, so what did you remember from last time? We can go back to that now.
I made a deal with Von Rune.
You have indeed, yes. Give me chat with the Funrin, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We stroll through Memory Avenue. Anything else happen worthy of note besides the introduction of Eldris?
Well, there were cave chants. Well, sewer chant.
Yeah, there was chanting.
Significant.
Something about a cult.
And maybe cult, yep.
The Watchers who may or may not be. I mean, they clearly are some sort of cult. The question is, are they a cult in, cult way, or more of a, they're a cult?
Yeah. We got it. What about Venger? Anything else in the adventures of Venger?
We went a walk and couldn't get into a house. Specifically, the Thaki estate.
And who's the we specifically?
It was Vanger alongside the charming Sarah Bellum. Name may or may not be a pun.
Definitely sure it's cerebellum, but yeah, cerebellum. Yep.
Yep, cerebellum. Yeah, not cerebellum. Not that.
No.
So yeah, they were obviously prior to the last session. They'd arrived there looking for her brother.
True.
He had mentioned the connection between her brother and we've just talked about them and forgotten the Watchers. The
Yep.
Watchers who apparently were picking him up.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. So on that mention, she sort of ran off in a certain direction, and then we landed there, presumably guided by her wrist alert.
Yeah, her bangle of fine brother.
Yes, that's exactly +1 Bangladesh brother. So that guided her there. We thought about trying to sort of enter, but I wasn't able to find a convenient way in.
Mm-hmm.
So we headed to the sewers, which was sort of like a original meet-up point that we discussed, and there bumped into Fleabite exiting with a new friend, potentially.
Yeah. So, anything else to add to the recap? Anyone? Fleabite, anything you want to add beyond what you have done so far? I'm not saying there is more to add, I'm just purely speculating here.
I think that's all my notes.
Okay. And Eltris, anything you want to add to the recap?
I think so. Everyone's got everything I remember covered anyway. It worries me that Fleabite has notes about me because I feel like he knows more about my backstory than I do. I have no idea with it.
Fair. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And let's take her that one. Be wary.
Yes, but remember, I have river and mirror as one word.
Yeah.
Their eyes.
The river mirrors have eyes. There you go. There's a new horror movie for you, Sam.
If you
Maybe.
pronounce it like in certain American accents, mirror is basically mirror.
Okay.
And if you
Mirror.
Mirror.
take the word mirror and remove the first letter from it, and turn the other two around, so sort of
No!
switch them around.
Why do we allow the bullshit to happen, folks? Why
I
don't you
don't
just
know.
cut
I
'em
don't
off?
know. I start saying these things, and I expect someone to stop me.
This is like what happened when Fleabite was trying to crowbar Cynthia's teeth out. You know, it's like, why did nobody
Yeah.
stop me?
I didn't think I would get this far.
Anyway, so I think, yeah. Dylan, do you have anything else to do with Von Rune, or are you gonna head away? What's
After making the deal,
I purely want to know, like, do you want to open there, or do you want to, like, with him still, or do you want to, like, be elsewhere by this point, having moved on from that scene, to, like, maybe attempt to catch up with everybody else, so we can sync the party back up? Sure call. You can let me know. I don't want to just say, and your deal is done, move on.
leading. I can't think of anything else that I wanted to do with Onrune.
That's fine. Well, let's have a look at goals then. I will just review those. So, Colin, do you want to tell me all the general goals?
I would love nothing more. That's maybe untrue.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
Convince Charleston to reclaim his house, unless he's in on the strange business going on with the house, which specifically is Tanan.
Yeah.
That's not in the wording.
Oh, excuse me.
Get Sarah home? Question mark. No, alive? Question mark. I don't know why alive is a question. Anyway, uncover what the Watcher's ritual in the sewers was. Uncover the Noah/Glint secret. Test the Wateras of the Watchers. Wateries.
Yep. And
Yeah,
your personal goal?
Mine would be investigate the Bellum Thaki connection.
Indeed. And
Thaki? I can't
yeah,
remember.
Thaki.
Is it
Yeah,
right or
Thaki.
not. Yay!
It's just that obviously Adair said so many things wrong, but was often just the only source of that being said, that
God bless him.
Yeah,
He's entertainingly wrong.
he was very entertainingly wrong, and the dice hated him unless he just lockpicked things or
He
stole
really
stuff.
did.
He was one of the most fortunate rogues that the game was like, but you're a rogue, please steal things. So the game just made it easy for him, despite that was something he did so rarely. What a strange man. But Gregor, hurry back to his buddy. Right, Dylan, your personal goal.
Uh-huh. My personal goal is to still deface Lord Tom.
And Fleabag.
To establish a place to lay low.
Yeah. And for some reason that reminds me of Ben and Tom last week discussing models for Warhammer very briefly, and they then started getting rambly about Metal Gear Solid and mentioned Lali Lulale, which is in Metal Gear Solid, and it just brought unnecessary memories back to me, and Lalo made me think of that, so there you go.
There you go.
The Lali Lulale. Yep. Fucking hell, story writing, right? Anyway, so obviously we'll have, maybe we might even have a personal goal from Eltris by the end of this session. Who knows? Who knows such things?
Who knows?
If we don't, obviously, well, it was nice to have you in these 2 sessions. Yeah, well, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, if that's the case, then where do we find? Well, are you still going to be Vigor when you're walking the streets? Or are you going to be?
Probably not.
Okay, who are you going to be?
Since I'm heading back to sewers.
I mean, isn't everybody? Where is the meetup place, guys? Like, because I know that you're at the sewers right now. At this very second, you're standing at the entrance to that sewer. So, was that where you were going to meet the DCC, or was it somewhere else? What was previously arranged?
I believe we're all sewer people.
In that case, that's where he'll stroll up to then.
Also, did I actually achieve my goal of getting what's his name? Von Rune to like assist us?
I mean, it's in the look at the completed goals list.
Completed, yeah.
Like
You won?
it's there.
Did he like? How much did he say that he would help us? Like,
I mean, I feel like you didn't pay attention to last session then.
I mean, or it was a week ago.
Yeah, and it's almost like everything's perfectly recorded. If you ever, I said perfectly so loosely.
When you
but-
say recording.
I mean, yeah. So, what don't you remember?
Just like, how much did he agree to help us? Like, I remember him saying that like, if I get the egg for him, obviously he'll back my reign of Evershade, but I don't remember if he agreed to actually like help us and if we end up going to fight Tonin.
Does anyone remember the answer he's forgetting? Or has everybody forgot everything Vonrin agreed to?
He was
Eh.
going to help you if you fucked the egg. And then would possibly be mayor.
I know what they say, to get voted in as mayor, you gotta break a few eggs,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do say that.
The omelettes of politics. Don't know, does Tom or Alexander remember the Vonrin Delan
I remember
agreement?
laughing a lot.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I think he agreed to help if we got him to laugh one more time, maybe.
I don't think that's true. I think that's all lies.
Okay.
It would be impossible anyway.
Yeah, goals have to be feasible, guys. So, Alexander?
My recollection was the gist of it. That he wasn't against a new regime, he just wasn't that bothered with it. But he would back the DCC if they help destroy the egg.
So, the reason why you might be struggling to remember more details is because Vonrin gave 0 details.
Mhm.
He mostly said, align with me and I will be allied with you. And that was
Okay.
pretty much, that was the gist of it. So a lot of the conversation was him saying, and how do you intend to go about dethroning him, essentially? And you were like, don't worry, I've got that in the bag. And he goes, well, I'll be here when it happens. So he's not going to stop or interfere.
Okay.
Which, quite frankly, sounds like backing for the coup. If he's not going to be in your way, and then once, the Tenans are to the side, if the old house you wish to resurrect takes over, he was more than happy to be like, yep, they're a house. And yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and who's going to go against Von Rune, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, Dylan?
Ask Xarxes.
I mean, for the most part, Xerxes has made these deals. For the most part, it was just Vigor that took over at the end, that last hurdle. Yeah. Does that make sense? Though, does that kind of clear up the vagueness?
Yeah, he's just not going to interfere.
Yeah. But he has no particular attachment, it seems, to the Twinans.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember you tried to offer him Evershade, which made him laugh, because he's like, I think you'd find I would rather just burn this place to the ground and start again.
I do remember that.
So, yeah, he definitely was like, essentially, why would I want it? Was the gist of it. He has clearly moved on from Evershade. I think that was the takeaway from this, is that he's kind of happy with his own country, with his blackjack, etc. So, yeah, he's happy over in his own country. But yeah, so did you do anything before you get back to the group, or are you just back at the group at the sewer at the meeting place where everybody's met the new member? You tell me.
I suppose I'll be back. Probably as Xarxes.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
I think so. I mean, I think you left him as Cass, though.
I sure did.
But, I mean,
Just getting used to it.
what's the plan? You gonna go back as Xerxes or back as Cass?
I'll go back as Xarxes and just tell everyone that Cass told me where it was.
Sure. Yeah, so you approach and you can see that you've got obviously Vanger. God names. Also, you should update your Discord name. Vanger, and obviously the cloaked Lady Sarah Belem. You see Fleabite and fairly tall elf, a buff elf, a belf. I guess. Yeah. As you approach, and to everybody else's perspectives who are looking in that particular direction of the alley, I guess, since we're in the middle of several intersecting alleys, you'll see approaching a red-skinned tiefling, which is relatively rare. Just for Eltris's benefit.
Would you like a picture, Eltris?
The answer is yes.
He says
Yes.
in character.
Okay, if Discord will... Oh, there it goes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, who's this then?
Sorry, the picture just loaded for me. I was waiting for that to load. It was just two spinning squares.
Ah,
That's just what you see coming towards you, these squares that eventually.
To be fair, when he's shifting form, fair, right? Yeah, who's replying to one of the many party members you have? That Lady Sarah hasn't met him, right? So
Oh, no.
I think she'd be a bit startled as she turns to look, and she maybe automatically just clutches your arm, Vanger.
Not to worry. Sorry, this is an acquaintance of ours and
Oh,
of Cass. Hello.
Xarxes is the name, and I do a over-dramatic bow.
She kind of like takes you in as if she's still dealing with the new information processing in her brain, as she automatically like puts like her hand out, etc.
I take it and kiss
court,
her hand.
yeah, like court formalities.
Mhm.
Now remember, you wouldn't kiss her hand unless you were courting her. You would go and almost like touch it to your forehead, almost. If you were just introducing yourself politely. So it depends how forward you wish to be here.
Right.
Evershade courtship, remember?
Yeah, I forgot about that. We established that.
Yeah, I'm glad I remembered it because it's a nice detail to remember.
I will take it and I'll like touch it to my forehead, and then I'll like look up at her, kind of like smirk a little bit, and then kiss her hand.
I think, she's used to the formality part, and as soon as you look up at her, kind of give her the look and then kiss her hand, I think she'll quickly like pull her hand back and like back within her robes, and then kind of say, it's quite ill-timed. She kind of just looks at you, Wenger, as if this is somehow your fault.
I look mildly confused by this, and is that so? Were you intending to join us in our escape then, Saxon?
Yep. Cass told me about this place. Kind of like look around, like
Is she?
could be better choosings in our meetings from here on.
I think Lady Sarah clears her throat very abruptly, right, and goes, I'm so glad discretion was at the forefront of her mind. And then she looks around and goes, you do realise you are very, and she just does looks at you as a lineup. Where we've got, 6 foot something elf with a beard in a human primary city. We've then got a 3 foot rat person. We've then got the dwarf with twigs in his beard. And then we've got Xarxus, the red tiefling.
To be fair, I've been sleeping in a bed for a while now, so I probably don't have any twigs in my beard.
Yeah, fair.
And my outfit, maybe.
Although last night we were not.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think she's just kind of trying to make a point going, this feels like the most obvious rescue team ever. Like,
Well, we are a distinctive looking group, but I think in the sewers we'll probably stand out less.
yes, of course. And then kind of like it starts to like adjust like the robes that are like obviously covering her footwear. She's obviously trying to like hunch it up a bit so it's not going to trail.
Yes. Into sewers now. Go.
Did I get your name, Eltress?
Yes, is the answer for convenience.
So we were introduced.
You weren't. You've just turned up.
Yeah, I think maybe we'll. You know what? Would Fleabite do the introduction again, or should I?
No, but Fleabite probably is looking a little bit agitated to me. Like, more squeak talk in sewer, yes.
Yes. Let's you say I'll sort of sidle over slightly to Eltress to try and just sort of make sure the guys on the down low and chat to them a bit down low on the.
Yeah, close enough.
That's not what I meant, but that'll do because that also is apt. Eltress, you said you had some business in there with Watchers. That happens to be relevant to our current mission.
Xarxus looks very confused.
Less squawk, more walk. Pointing him.
Yes. Behind you. You seem more familiar.
No. You go first. Get these ones out of city line.
Right. I suppose I can see. I'll take the. And he sort of wanders in, muttering, squeezing through. Can I squeeze through easy enough?
Yeah,
Is
like
that,
as I
no need
said.
for a roll here.
Now, like if the barbarian can get through it, you can all get through it. It is considered squeezing, so if combat happens and then he's mid getting in and out, then that was a problem. But beyond that, these are fine.
I'm probably still marring a fair bit. I mean I can see pretty well in that. Not familiar with.
I think as you're like sliding in, I think once you're in, I think Sarah quickly follows to be next, and she goes, "Is it a far drop?" And she can like, the implication here is that don't just let her fall in, right? That's kind of what she's fussing about, and she starts to like, slide herself in. It's maybe a good 6-foot drop, right, from like the entrance in. Yeah. You just have the layers of Lady Sarah as she heads in as well. She flumps her way in. Might even do a save to see how well she does. Getting in. So here's a wee deck save from her, unless you're going to help her. Anger. If you help her,
I
she'll
don't know
get
how useful I would be at the moment.
That's fine.
with that.
If it's
Nope,
6
well-
feet,
Yeah, but she falls in, that's for sure, yep. So yeah, she pretty much lands on her ass. Yep.
I move to help her up.
Are you in next then? Is that your...
Oh,
Fleabite would hold to make sure that Xarxus isn't the next one in.
How dare you?
I will help her up there.
Okay.
Turn around.
Mhm.
You've taken a bit of a bad landing there. It is awfully dark. I'm sorry. And offer her hand.
She goes, luckily, hopefully the rest could not see. And she kind of just like quickly like tries to adjust herself and like she goes to like wipe her backside down and realizes that her hands are probably dirtier now because of that. And yeah, she just looks a bit disgruntled overall.
Well,
yeah.
Wouldn't worry too much about cleanliness down here. And I sort of start wandering on a bit.
She kind of nods and goes, ah yes, I suppose the dirtier the better for hiding. And she kind of just, as if she's getting into the spirit of it. I assume the plan here, Fleabite, is for Eltrus to go next. Is that the plan, or is Fleabite next?
Nope, Ultra's next.
Okay. Would you just point at him? And point at the sewer?
Pretty much.
Eltrus, do you head in?
Yeah, I'm assuming it's easy enough for me because I've been in before.
Yes.
Aye.
Yep.
I'll head in.
Yeah, yep. You're all good, buddy. And then who's next?
I'll lean over towards Fleabite and be like, "Who's the tall one?"
Elf think needs help to do something similar. Yes.
He's trying to escape.
Escape, but also fight, yes.
I see.
But you red thing, you talk to red man thing fur.
What? Can I get a translation on that?
Red fur man thing.
Red fur man thing.
Ah,
Oh!
red air, right?
Wait, so what is your question exactly?
Like to give crowbar and useful things to red fur man thing. And now they are not here. Why are they not here?
She told me you might be worried about that. Here you go. And I hand him the crowbar and a bag of holding.
And that were
Right, of course. The hammer. I hand it all over and let it not be said that a member of the
while he's still speaking, Fleabite jumps into the
Intel can. Alright, never mind. She'll wait my turn and go through.
Yeah, I think you're pretty much in the alley yourself now, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you slide in. Yeah, so I guess everybody's in the sewers now. So what's the plan here, guys? Because obviously the latest saver won't be able to see for shit.
Should torch. That occurred to me.
Torches
Can I
in
roll to
sewers
see if that
aren't
works?
always a great idea either. I'm just gonna...
Yeah, because gases, yeah. And
I also can't see shit.
You probably can see quite a lot.
hey, must be the money. Okay, so we do have 2 non-night vision-y people here. Well, I've sort of instructed her to sort of stick behind me. I think if she does that, she should be all right, right?
Yeah, like if she'll just cling to the back of you, if you're fine with that, yeah, you'll just have a +1 essentially. Not mechanically speaking, of course, just as a narrative.
Yeah.
The Xerxes,
Narrative.
do you actually have no? I forget that.
Dark vision?
Yeah,
No.
I forgot that was one of the things that like changelings didn't get because turns out that would be a bit OP, apparently.
Just automatically change into like a dwarf or something and get night vision. That would be great.
Yeah,
That would be really good. I think that should be a thing.
it is for druids.
I
Right?
agree.
I mean, yeah, to an extent, yeah.
Yeah, druids just go. What senses do I need to be good at? I'll just be that animal. Yep.
I cast cat.
I
It seems to be my go-to for some reason.
mean, well, they have the sense of smell one, right?
Yeah.
So they get advantage on that at least. Whereas I think it's certain birds that get the vision one, right?
Mhm.
And yeah, but there is a bunch. I think dogs get the smell, cats get smell. I wonder if they give like the taste one to snakes. I wonder.
Snakes.
I don't think that's a thing though, to be honest. But I wonder. I would need to look through all the animal like stat sheets, and I'm not gonna do that. So. Okay. So we form our line. What's the plan though? Where are you going?
That's a good question. I'm sort of just wandering forward, looking for what I think is the appropriate way.
Yeah, has Fleabag got a plan for this, or is it just?
Fleabite would probably scurry to the front and say, yes, follow me, way. There is place to speak, Squawk. And if they follow, I probably wouldn't look back to see if they're following. We'd just start going off into the sewer.
Fair. Yeah. So I guess I think Lady Sarah leans in and kind of like somewhere between just a lower voice, right? She's not quite whispering, but she definitely lowered her voice. So as not to incur a conversation, but more just to kind of address you. And she says, "So is the rat man your leader?"
Well, there was a Genasi who was really sort of the fact, but he's disappeared in some business that I don't understand. But he seems to know his way around down here. So I'm trusting him to lead right now.
She kind of just nods vaguely, and then kind of just you can tell she's just accepting that you replied more so than that she cares about the answer, right?
Yeah.
She's still in that doesn't really know what to make of most of this because she was about to become one of the most powerful people in the city, and then she got told, by the way, you're gonna die. So she's still dealing with that whiplash currently.
Yeah.
Which is significant, as you can imagine. Everything else just happily following on. I'm going to assume that unless you state otherwise, we will just follow Fleabag for a bit. So, what's the plan, Fleabag? Where are you taking them?
There was a time that you said that there was a part of the sewer that was just like really not pleasant to be in. And
yeah.
Like, it wasn't necessarily a good place to stay, but it was a place that people wouldn't really go.
Yeah, it'd be like, remember the further north in Evershade, the kind of less maintained everything is? So it would be like very far north in Evershade. The central and south of Evershade's where all the money still is, and where all the... But, yeah, the north is... It's not quite wrecked yet. Like, if somebody that actually cared went up and just spent money on it, it would be fixed up in no time, really, but isn't that starting to just fall by the wayside, maintenance-wise? So if you want to head that way?
Yep.
Okay.
And take... Would, what is it? This still count for under the city?
I think, like, to a degree, if the sewers follow streets like they should, it would still apply, right? But there'll be times where, obviously, if sewers start to become less relevant to what's above. Like if above's been rebuilt, then it might not match what was below, if that makes sense.
Sure.
But I think for the most part, you can kind of just assume that applies unless I tell you like it doesn't, which is good. But what is it you're looking for though? Because you want to go to like less populated area. That's fine. Yep.
And just a really probably quite fetid part of it that just.
Oh, lovely.
You know, yes, I do want to keep this not too bad for the stream, but just the one of the worst places that you would want to be. I want to take us there.
Okay, and also welcome WeCulture to the chat.
Welcome.
You are most welcome, friendo. So, I guess you can like navigate that. I'm assuming you want to try and find a way that avoids as much as possible that big ritual chamber. Or are you just going to go straight through that if you think that's the best way?
Yeah, probably skirting it at the least. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess everybody just sees Fleabite just like scamper off, knowingly, I think is the best descriptor there. Knowingly. And yeah. You
Probably like fully on all fours.
Now, is MD trying to be quiet? Because Fleabite has given you zero information about the source. Right?
I don't even know if I really could be. Given the fact that I can't really even see.
Yeah, that's fair.
So you buddied up with Lady Sarah, I guess? Are you both hanging off Langer?
Can you see Eltris? Do elves get night sight?
You do.
Yeah, it says I've got dark vision.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what he's referring to. Yep.
Okay.
I could always buddy up with the giant barbarian.
I mean, yeah. Why not?
In which case, as we're walking, I'll just be like, "So what's your story, big fella?"
Yeah, I'm just I've came to Evershade to check up on the city from Torque. Come serving the Torque army. We were attacked on the way over to Evershade, and I was looking for help. Sorry, and that's when I came across.
Health is your healing elf friend. Yes.
Yeah, I was like, what? I was looking at the word elf, and I was like, okay. But yeah, I came across your rat friend over there, and yeah, I think we could probably both help each other out. So I've came just join you just now.
I imagine you'll fit right in this town. Dark group.
I think so.
Throw out a hand, and I say Zarxus.
Eltris, and then give a wee wink.
Cool. Nice to meet you as well, Eltris.
That's more than Fleabite got. Yeah, Fleabite never got a wink.
Sorry, Fleabite.
It wasn't as red.
So, can everybody tell me what your passive stealth would be? And by that, we're going to use the same maths that is involved in getting a passive perception, but with stealth instead. Because I feel like passive stealth, passive insight, passive all that should be a thing.
You know
what? Just 10 plus your stealth.
What was that? Sorry, Vanker?
I was just agreeing that does make a degree of sense. I wouldn't mind that at all.
Yeah, like I think it makes sense. Like, see, because if somebody's rolling to notice something, I think a passive stealth should be a thing of just how naturally sneaky you are. Because people have passive perceptions, so what if somebody just is hard to notice anyway? Right? Just by being, statistically hard to see. So yeah.
How is this one?
Because I think the passive perception is it 10 or 8 plus.
It's 10 plus.
Well, the easiest thing to do is look at your stats and look at your passive perception and just work out the past, like in maths.
That's why I'm saying I think
Cool,
it's 10 plus.
Cool. Your proficiency bonus isn't messed in there at all, is it?
I think it is. Because I'm proficient in perception and it's 6.
Right, and your
Thus,
passive
my
is 16.
passive wisdom is 16.
Your passive perception, cool, is 16. Right. So,
Sims 13 and I've got a 3, so it looks like it does look like 10 plus
14.
So obviously, if you are proficient in it, I guess you'll get your proficiency in it.
Yeah.
So does everyone just type it into Roll20's chat for me what your passive stealths are? Also, feel free to take a note of it on your sheet somewhere if you want to have that as a stat that you keep track of, because it's probably going to be useful. I do think it is a strange thing that it isn't on the sheet, but it's also just
10.
because, you know.
So just to make sure, is it just 10 plus what the stealth kind of modifier is? And the
Yes.
10 plus just your stealth skill, basically. Full stop. Because it should factor in your proficiency bonus and all that nonsense already.
I'm not stealthy. You know what? That all makes sense.
Mm.
Oh wait, sorry. Did you say? Oh yeah, 10 plus. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I thought you said you were like Dex plus.
No, the other thing is, I'm just gonna assume all your rogue bullshit does apply to passive stuff, right? Because that makes sense, right? If it's something you'd roll in a skill, I feel like it still would apply in your passive, in terms of all the additional, like, double your proficiency in X, Y, and Z that you get as a rogue.
To agree.
I figured you might. Weirdly, I figured you might. Now, annoyingly, I don't have something I would very much like to have, but that's fine. Okay.
So how is passive wisdom?
Well, passive wisdom is your passive wisdom perception, right? It's just when they state things, they'll always say what the attribute is and with it. So passive perception is what's on your sheet. And you've got passive insight, and then you have it's just stats that exist in the background of character sheets. Most character sheets for 5e don't show passive insight, but I've seen, like, out of the, say, 100% of 5e character sheets I've seen, about 25% of them actually show passive insight, which I think's pretty good, because I feel like people should have a gauge of, like, is my bullshit alarm going off here? Without actively distrusting somebody, because I feel like you need a reason to distrust somebody to roll insight against them, because it's an active thing, rolling, right? But again, this is getting into my ethos of GMing here, instead of, just, I guess, dealing with what we need to deal with. So Fleabite is obviously stealthy as fuck, naturally.
And depending on the context, in some contexts, it seems
I think underground is a good context for Fleabite.
Yeah, seeing a big rat in the sewers isn't going to really trigger most people's alarm bells.
The fact that it's walking upright may set off some alarm.
Walking upright is wearing mage armor that floats majestically and creepily, dirtily in the wind. Yeah. There's a lot of elements that might make people go, wait a minute. But until then, that's fine. Yeah, so as we travel then, right, through these winding maze of sewers, the smell gets slowly worse. It's probably, I wouldn't say harder to see, but your eyes probably start to water, right, as time goes on. Does the conversation shift at all? I imagine Fleabite's doesn't, but I'm open to commentary here. What's the plans as you go? Because you've been walking for quite a bit. You can probably guess that if it wasn't for all the twists and turns, you'd have crossed, like, maybe half the city by now, based on how long you've walked.
Gonna be keeping on moving for a while. Yeah, this is. We've gone quite some distance, and it's getting gradually worse.
I think, like, Lady Sarah has, like, motted up as much of the spare fabric she's got, and just obviously like covering her mouth and nose with it, as best as possible. Also, good hello, Scott, in chat as well.
Large hello.
But yeah, she's doing what she can to like kind of like muffle her coughs, basically, that she's trying to like stifle with the fact that this is an awful place to breathe, quite frankly.
Or B.
Yeah, isn't Fleabite wonderful for bringing you here?
Welcome.
What about the other two behind? How are you dealing with sewer life?
Let's roll a con save.
Yeah, you can if you want to gauge it. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, that's a good way to gauge.
Okay, it's not well.
Not well.
Like
Coughing a bit. Making, really dramatic, like, eh.
as you click onto your elf in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be awful, right? Because you'd have to cough, right? But then also cling on to elf so that you don't like step in anything worse. Yeah. Well done, Fleabite. Yeah. What about Eltris? How's he dealing with this?
I don't know. I kind of want to do that Constitution save as well. Can I do that? How do I do that?
Right. So above your skill block, there should be your saves block. Click con.
Skill block. Oh, save right.
Yep.
Oh, I done it twice by accident.
It's okay.
But you're nailing it.
Yeah, they're
But
both.
yeah, I think I'm doing okay.
Yeah. I mean, you're
Hard as gold.
an elf, warrior, barbarian man. So, yeah. And the beard is probably filtering out a lot of the natural toxins.
Well, I've got one in real life too.
I don't have a beard. I assume that's how they work, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Beard 101. Yeah.
In which case, I'll just say in Elvish, have you ever seen a more gross place?
Imagine he didn't speak Elvish.
I was waiting to hear that, actually.
Sorry, what you say? No, I'm joking.
Frickin'
No,
Deutsch.
definitely not
What did you call my mother?
What do you call me? No, definitely not. Though this is the most disgusting place I've ever seen.
So you're agreeing, right?
Yeah.
I like that's the full conversation. It's
Yeah.
definitely not a no. So you're agreeing? Aye.
This entire sewer, that's it.
Worst place ever. Yeah.
I once went to this place called the Maze. Beautiful place. Much better place than here.
The maze.
Maves? What was that clothing place called?
Oh, Mayals.
Oh, that's right.
Mayal. Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mayal. Yeah. I always mess up the name as well, but when you get it wrong, I get it right first time, so that works. As long as if I have to think of it first, I'll get it wrong. So that's just the curse of Mayal. Mostly it's because it was a Richard Mail that inspired the entire thing for some strange reason. But yeah.
Didn't he die?
He did. He is dead.
Yeah.
Yes, sadly. But yeah, so Fleabite, your companions are just chatting, actually, and it's probably not great for the stealth
Yeah,
journey.
I think hearing some Elvish, that's triggering. If it starts to rumble up, it might be a reached from front of the trying to be muted, but probably not successful.
Well, I feel like you're at that stage, sadly. That is definitely where we're at in terms of volume, as you were wondering, because I think just any chat is probably bad. Like, you probably grumbled at the fact that any time she's coughing and she's stifling her coughs as well. Like, she's definitely not used to this quality of air. Definitely not. But, when in Rome, right? Whatever that means.
Wait. Near the end.
I mean, no. But you've probably got, like, if you want to get to somewhere less likely to fall upon watchers, I guess, based on how many you spotted and how likely they are to cover, like, territory. Because I feel like that's something Fleabit would be able to identify, right? Is size of, nest worn versus, size of pack. So, yeah.
I think Flavor responds, "You want safe. You want to keep going."
I think Sarah coughs and goes, "Was that a choice? Or was that a command?" She whispers at you, Vanger.
Yeah, well, that was a choice, but at this point, I really don't think the better one available. Seems awfully keen to avoid these watchers. I was kind of curious. Them might know more about your brother's situation. Oh,
Is that a good thing, though? So yeah, like, they've just, as you've ordered them to, obviously, like, wished and let's keep going to be safe. They're mostly just talking now. I am quietly, though, of course, but still just chatting away. Mm-hmm.
Then I might look back and say, "You must squeak," in a questioning tone.
Yeah.
we were just discussing the situation.
She just kind of nods and then starts coughing into, like, her, like, wad of cloth again.
I squeak.
Oh dear. Yeah, fair. Why not? Yeah, like, valid. Oh dear.
Hashtag squeaking is valid.
Yeah.
So I'm tempted to use a new thing. So, new thing of me not really understanding how it works warning.
Okay, that's good.
So this that allows them to telepathically communicate with me.
Ooh.
Okay, well, let's
With
read
that-
this. Let's read it before we make assumptions. You establish telepathic communication between yourself and others. Perfect for quiet infiltration. As an action, choose one or more creatures you can see up to a number of creatures equal to your proficiency bonus. And then roll one psionic energy die for a number of hours equal to the number. Okay, so proficiency bonus is what?
3.
Okay, so you'll be able to hit 4 people with this. I assume if it includes yourself, or is it 3 including yourself?
Surely it's 3 others that can talk to me.
Choose one or more creatures you can see up to a number of creatures equal to proficiency. Yeah.
You can speak to yeah.
And then roll psychic die. Number of hours equal to number rolled. The chosen creature can speak telepathically with you. You can speak telepathically with them. The sender receives message. No action required. You and the other creature must be in 1 mile of each other. Creature can't use this telepathy if it can't speak any languages, and a creature end telepathic communication connection. In time. No action required. You and the creature don't need to speak a common language to understand each other. The first time you use this power after a long rest, you don't expend die, and you can do that again. Okay, but yeah, it doesn't allow you to speak to each other. It does say very specifically with you.
Yeah. So I could relay what they're saying.
True.
You can be the operator of
Yeah.
communications.
And, the most clear communicator in the group.
Okay, this gets the okay. If you can all send your messages to Alexander, and then Alexander sends them all the way to the other person. Yep. It's up to you. Like, it's your power, buddy.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure that that is how I thought it worked.
So you are using it?
Well, it's sort of I sort of wanted to kind of ask the group, if we want to talk, I have a mechanism that we can communicate, ish, that wouldn't draw other
And
suspicion.
it is literally just enough to cover everybody here, right? So, because it's or is it one short?
I think it's one short if we're including Sarah.
Yeah. Since she's the one doing most of the talking. It'd be ironic not to. Right? So it's up to
It was
Fleabag.
yeah. It was mainly just Vanger and Sarah.
Mm-hmm. Again, though, it's up to you. It's a cool power. Warp whispers.
I think I don't know how much there really is for us to chat about it. I partly am just talking to her for sort of calm. And
Yeah, she is mostly just doing it so that she knows he's still there. There's like a I'm not completely blind in the dark. This is totally fine type approach. Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I think there's a very high possibility there'd still be at least some occasional, I would this way sort of muttering.
Well, then I might stop you guys and motion to Xarxis, who I presume probably can't see it.
No.
Well.
At all, you could say, yeah, in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So that I would motion to Eltris to get Xarxis' attention and bring him over.
Okay, I'll bring him over, yeah.
I like the idea of you just like picking me up. You wanted him? Like,
Yeah, pick up, yeah. Look at me, my barbarian.
Bye. Have fun, dude. So I'm brought closer.
You do not see in darkness, yes.
That is, sadly true.
See you get lost, might funny, yes, but not this time. And well, just I presume it's touch. It doesn't really say, but
Well, it will, right? It probably will say it. Trying to paste it.
that is it.
Oh, the warp whispers.
Oh, we're doing warp whispers?
Oh, it's things you can see. It does say. As an action, choose one or more creatures up to a number of creatures you can see.
Well, I'll just like touch
Whatever it
just because it's thematic.
Mhm.
Like touch him on the arm, or probably like the leg is more accurate. Say, you want hear squeaks?
Sure?
Then I'll motion to Sarah as well and put a hand on, or I'll put my hand out to her. I won't actually.
So you're going to motion to Vanger to motion to Sarah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not how sure to. I'm not sure how to convey to her.
Evidently.
Yeah.
Just take her arm and beat her.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, we're close enough. We've all sort of heard what we're saying, so it's like, I suppose the simple thing is to sort of ask her, you think?
Of what?
You didn't catch any of what you were saying about the whisperies?
No, she didn't seem to be paying attention to any of it.
Then Fleabag might just chirp up and say, "You want hear what others squeak."
I think she just kind of like grips you as if, then kind of like whispers, "Do I?" But she's gripped you, Vanger, to indicate that's for you to answer.
Maybe I think he's sharing ideas.
She kind of just grips you again and goes, "If you're sure."
Then yeah, I
Okay.
put my hand out close enough that she would be able to see it.
Yeah. Virtual. Okay.
Mm-mm. I'm now realizing that I actually don't think have I ever described Lady Sarah.
I think you did, but I've forgotten.
I'm literally just thinking, I feel like I have, right?
I think you have, yes.
But can I think what she looks like right now? Not a jot. I'm gonna just try and find a generic token for her so that I actually do have a token for her, so I can always refer back to her as this person. Because I feel like the cat now needs to be replaced on the main screen with Sarah, since she's the +1. Because somebody got very excited when they were looking at the character lineup, being like, "Oh yay, there's a cat!" I'm like, no, it's kind of just a token, so you can access that quicker. And then I felt bad that. So she's kind of like a familiar now, I guess, is what I'm saying. Where are we? Assets, tokens. Right. What colour of hair did Sarah have in everybody's head? Who remembers?
No.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking like brownish, but
Yeah.
that might just be like my generic white person brain going to that.
Is it weird that like I also thought kind of like weirdly like brownish hair, like as if
Some of
like
my best
off
friends are
blonde,
generic
you know?
white people.
I also thought that.
Cool. See, I'm glad we were all here. Man, this is terrible.
That
Also
would be
just
a right pain.
Mhm.
See, while you're finding a token, I'm just going to jump to the toilet really quickly, okay?
okay. Well,
Godspeed.
why not we just take a break here since we're at the break time, right? Why not
Alright.
just do that? Yeah, we're at break
Break
time.
o'clock, everybody.
Yeah, so we'll come back in 10 minutes, everybody. See you soon. Bye.
That's a legit build, apparently. Anyway.
Okay, so we're back. Welcome and such. This game we play, The Invasion, Session 46, Part 2, 14th of April. Ryan, players?
Yes.
I'm Tom, Elpris, Bard. Bard, I meant to say Elf. Sorry, Barbarian. Yes.
Okay, close enough.
Good evening, my name is Alexander, and tonight I'll be playing Fleabite the Skaven, who's still pretty terrible at everything.
Oh, yes, I'm next. Hello, I'm Colin. I'm playing Vanger, who is your... He's not your resident... That's my other bit. That's my other bit, guys. Don't worry, it's my other bit. He is a dwarven cleric / druid, a bit of a sort of musty, fusty priest.
And I am Dylan, who's playing a changeling bard who's currently in the form of Xarxus the Tiefling.
Yeah. That's how it goes, folks. That's how it goes. Right. Now,
The devil.
you have a choice. What do we think makes a better Sarah? Do we think this blue-bordered commoner token makes quite a good Sarah in hiding? Right? Because that would be very fitting, right? That it actually looks like it could be quite a good fit for Lady Sarah. And the fact that it's a commoner generic token, which means she's obviously hiding very well. All commoners look like her. Or this one, which I also really like, because it does look like, she's a bit muddied
Looks
up.
very young.
Yeah, I think the commoner one's winning, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
That
Like-
second one reminds me of like Arya.
But I was thinking that second one's not terrible for Falcon.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Oh my god. We've cast Maisie Williams as Falcon. That's
There we go.
budget's increased significantly.
What's going on there?
Yep, that's how it goes. Look at how easy that was. See? Totally fine. I think the scary thing about that proportions is that it just makes it look like Falcon is bigger than Cass, which is kind of scary. Just from
Oh right,
the
so we cast Lena. I can't remember her surname, or I can't remember it. But I
Lena
can't
Headey?
pronounce it. Heady? Is it just
Lena
Heady?
Headey, yeah?
Like the heady days, like that kind of heady.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We cast her yet?
No, not yet. Nope.
Very handsome woman.
She is an incredibly handsome woman, isn't she? Like,
Yeah, that feels so apt for
Uh-huh.
her, doesn't it?
Cersei Lannister or the crime boss from Dread or the Sarah Connor Chronicles Sarah. Like, this is who Lena Headey is, in case anybody needed to know that. She's great, actually, but yeah, it does feel right, doesn't it? It might be like,
The more you know.
I think Lena is maybe a bit weird as a term, but Lena, right? Lena Headey. I think that is her.
I know. Those are words. They're
Yeah.
all words.
Very handsome woman.
See, for some reason, I've been picturing, is it Lena Dunham that was in those TV shows? That's what I've been picturing in my head.
I don't know who that is.
Wait, is she? I don't. Alright, Ryan. I'm sorry, we're getting cancelled. Is she the slightly more
No.
rotund lassie?
I don't know. I don't know who this person is. I just stated I don't know. Why would you ask me
No,
that?
I'm asking the group at large.
She was the one that was dating that Jack Anatoffy fun, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know who that is either.
I'm
That's all I'm
only
gonna say.
getting more confused.
Yeah,
Right, let's Google it.
Tom
She
and
was in
your
that TV
youth.
show that Adam Driver was in. What was the TV show Adam Driver was in?
Oh yeah, she's the lassie from Girls. Well, Girls
Yeah,
was
that's
her
the show.
show, wasn't it? Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
The phrase "she's the lassie from Girls" had like zero impact in my life there. I was like, well,
I was
duh.
gonna say the woman from Girls, but then that somehow sounds wronger, or
Mm,
more wrong even.
I think
She
wronger
that
is
girl
valid
with
here.
Lassie.
I don't know. That girl from Lassies? Aye. Fucking hell. Let me look.
Women from Checks.
No, I have no idea who this is. This,
she was.
Lena Dunham, I've just looked her up. I don't know her at all, actually.
She's moderately famous. Like she's not super famous, but she's well enough.
I think I've learned from
And
this
for
quick
Ryan's
Google.
birthday, we have her in chat.
Yatta! Welcome! I've learned who you are and that you kissed Brad Pitt once. Well done, I guess.
Who hasn't? Am I right?
Fair. So,
Don't know.
I guess moving on. Yeah. See,
What, you don't want to spend more time commenting on women's appearances, Ryan?
well, I mean, in general, I'm in favor of women. To be honest,
I think that we require them.
yes. And my other favorite Lena is Lena Olin. Most of you probably don't know who she is.
I
But
do not
here
know
she
who
is.
that is.
She's great.
I vaguely recognise her.
Yeah, she's an excellent actress. Or actor, I guess. I forget what the PC term for that is now. I guess actor makes the most sense.
Honestly, I think it depends on the person.
There's her in her super heyday. Look at that. Dear gods. Lena Olin.
I don't like the S suffix because the Latin X suffix
It would be
is
X for.
actrix.
I mean, actrix sounds way cooler than actress.
Executrix.
But that's her with Jennifer Garner because she plays Jennifer Garner's mother in Alias.
Right, this is where you know her from.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's where I knew her from long ago. She also played a really crazy attacky lady in a really old movie where I just the only thing I remember of the movie is the first time I ever saw her in it without like realizing who she was because I only really learned her name when I originally watched Alias. There's a movie where she ends up fighting a guy and for some reason they end up in the back of the car but he's still in the front of the car and she is trying to kill him and it's mostly just like as if like an angry octopus was attacking a man but it was just made of her legs. It's very strange.
I put a picture of my dog in the chat. She's not a Lena, but she's a Lena, if that counts.
Okay, yeah, close enough. Yeah, tangentially.
Corn. Does she have corn?
What?
I thought that was corn.
The band?
Is that a
No,
bone?
bone.
I thought it was corn at first. It's like, you know, sometimes corn isn't always like fully ripe and it's a bit pale and I like corn, right? Who doesn't like corn?
The foot of the band.
Both.
Touche.
There she is with Richard Gere. I don't know why, but there she is.
I forgot what Richard Gere looked like.
Yeah,
so, the answer is kind of weird.
Mm-mm. Yeah. Anyway, that's enough on this side, I think, for our bullshit. I can tell we have no viewers for that exact reason.
I'm a huge fan of bullshit.
Fair. Oh, you're in the right place. The sewers.
True. Well, maybe not bull.
Yeah, true. This is when House Minotaur gets involved.
That naming is too subtle, right?
Isn't it just? It's really not a Ryan name at all. I don't know what I would do then. Some kind of labby house or something like that. Something super obscure for Labyrinth.
Yeah, I just thought
the
that was
Rinth house. That's probably what I would do, right? Rinth. Yeah. And Labrina would be the head of the Rinth house.
It's not where my
Right, there we go. Right, so I'm gonna just keep going. Right, so we have Labrina. Rinth. Go. Labrina Rinth. Yes, that's another noble house of Evershade. There we go. See, GMing, super easy. Right. Who needs to even think? Obviously, that is a Minotaur symbol for their faction. Or just a bullhead, I guess. There we go. See? Sorted. Easy peasy.
Minos.
They're obviously big sailing family, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all the sailors. All the sailors.
And you should never look into their mouths when they're gifting things to you.
Wait a minute. No. So, Fleabag, do you want to roll perception?
Can I roll a d6 first?
Yeah, you can. Why not? Click
to
on the button
initiate.
that gives you. Does it not give you a button? There should be a button. Is there no button?
There's the roll. Like that button. Oh my god. Okay, sure.
There is that
What a
button.
terrible button.
It is a terrible button. What I was going to suggest you do is make yourself an attack that's just rolling your side eye. Because you're going to be rolling them a lot, right?
Your side eye.
Do you know how to do that?
I think I actually do.
Yeah, I was going to say, I
take
feel
that
like...
under advisement.
Yeah,
So nice, they're notorious for their side eye.
oh dear.
Oh fuck, I've got cramp.
Yeah, it's karma getting to you. Yeah.
I think it's age.
Same thing at this point.
Yeah.
Right, so,
Oh.
attacks, and then add one line in, and make it your psionic power, I guess, die. I don't think you want to abbreviate it to PP die. And then just have it be a d6. Because I'm assuming you'll have other things that came from your new subclass.
Not many that aren't. Like, to be honest, just a d6 is fine.
Okay. But it's still nice to quantify what it is instead of you having to write this was the psionic roll every single time. So we're going to change the spell thing to just be the line, because we don't need that. We just need the damage die to just exist as 1d6. And then the name of it just to be psionic power die. And that should be sorted. Or that, if you're deciding to reflavor everything.
Well, I was going to ask, but I was just going to do some of it without asking.
When you say was going to, you have done some of it without asking. There was, yeah. What? Yep. You need to untick proficient as well. You need to untick the attack roll.
Easier.
Nope, you need to leave the damage ticked, and you need to type in, get rid of the attack roll and type in 1d6 in the damage space.
Better the devil you know.
And then change plus spell to just nothing. Yep. And now
What's for you no
close
go
all
by.
that. Now
I
click
had
it.
to translate that for so many people, and I'm sorry to generalize, but mostly Americans.
It's alright.
Click the button.
Like, there's nothing wrong
There you
with not understanding dialect. Like, it's fine.
You can keep the 2.
It's a phrase you hear a lot in your everyday life, though. My mum says it all the time.
So
Other than
What is the phrase?
Wits for you and no go by you is the coasters that we used to sell.
Wits
And
for you and no go by you.
what's
That's
for
what I
you
heard.
will not go by your baby.
Okay. Interesting.
It's I hate it. I hate it, but my mum loves to say it.
So it's fair you no get by you.
Oh dear. Like, this is how you get demons, okay? This is how you get demons.
we should we should show Dylan the famous rest stop near Aberdeen.
I'm sure we can after the game that we're all in here to play. Occasionally.
Hey, we're waiting in dice.
So
We're not-
I'm just copying and pasting that into a message to Lo.
So I do include Vanguard with it. I just felt that
Okay.
I kind of needed permission from the other two, whereas
My consent is assumed.
yes.
Everyone knows that silence is consent.
Oh dear. So, do you want to type in who is all subject to your warp whispers? Also, you might want to have written down somewhere in the actual ability at the top in brackets, see where it says your telepathic bullshit, blah blah blah, the original name of the feature if you ever have to search for it.
Yeah, fair.
And I might want to saying do that. Okay, Sir B. Vanger and
Close enough.
Vangre.
Hungry. It's like blood almost. It's angry.
I mean, sure,
You
like
what the fuck?
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Stay focused. So, where is this perception roll now?
Perceive with.
Alright.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I think you get so far into the sewers that the stonework around you becomes rougher and rougher, right? Like they just clearly stopped paying for the fancy stonework to be done. And then the only way to kind of go forward is into like, well, I wouldn't say caves. Caves is a bad term, but like the tunnel work is as if the sewers didn't quite continue. So if anything, the smell gets better. Which is nice.
Go back, go back.
But yeah, maybe that's what you're having. Maybe you're having those thoughts of, do we go back? And then you start to hear voices up ahead. Yeah.
Then I will.
What are they saying?
Didn't know
Well,
this is a
I'll
Fleabag
quickly
fan.
motion to Eltris, who I do apologize because you didn't get included in the other things, but I know you can actually see, so that is why.
I suppose I follow.
So it's just to motion to everyone, motion to Eltris to get down, and I say to the other three, to Sarah, Zarxus, and Vanga, telepathically. Squeak voices up
Telepathetically.
ahead. Yes. Squeak voices up ahead. Get down, yes.
He whispers mentally. Can I try and perceive? Oh yeah, I forgot that I closed that because I refreshed the page. Give me a sec. Can I try and perception to see if I can hear?
I would like to try to hear what they're saying.
Sure, yeah.
It's no.
Are you doing things with the lighting?
I see nothing but a black screen.
I don't. Oh, now I see like a ring around the edge, like we're looking at it through some sort of telescope, like an aperture or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's I'm not concerned then.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
I'm lying. I'm concerned.
That's fair. I'd be too. Okay. Just see.
Brian, just I know you did ask me to write it in the name, but it doesn't actually have its own name. It's just part of one of the other skills. I just separated them out because I wanted to be able to individually open them.
Okay. What was it part of?
So it was all part of.
Never to be seen again. Also, you should all still be on the title screen, so I don't know why you were talking about visions there. Like,
Oh no, like there.
I don't know what happened to you, Colin. You've kind of vanished on me there.
Oh yeah, I just noticed it. I had my character sheet off, so I didn't see. It's on the left hand side for me.
All right for me.
I'd,
That's very weird.
Can someone share an image of this? Because I don't know what you're talking about.
Sure.
That would help. Anytime there's an issue like this, images, please.
Press button.
How random.
Hey, why is that still?
Well, considering I've not edited any of your character sheets in any way, that's interesting.
Like it was a few minutes ago, like just after I'd rolled.
How strange, because that would look roughly like your perception ranges.
Mm-hmm.
Did anybody measure them?
Does. Let me
Yeah, 0.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's 60 feet.
So I'm going to turn that
Yep.
on, I'm
Yep.
going to turn daylight mode on, and then turn all that off. And then save. Still the same for you guys here on this map?
It remains. Yeah.
What if... Can you see this map now?
Yes.
The
There's-
map.
Yeah.
The map.
Map, yeah. Just fine.
Map. It
Right.
looks as
Mhm.
normal.
And if I move these here.
I'm back.
And with this lens,
1 or 2. Better or worse? Are the circles
I
sharper?
see everything.
yeah,
Okay.
that looks fine now.
Oh,
That was very weird.
Again, roll 20, guys. But yeah, always let me know that type of stuff with nice images. That'd be good.
Fair.
Interesting though, because it seems like if I'm messing lighting on a different map, because I definitely did mess with lighting settings on a different map, but it seems like it's just decided to do it to you guys because you are there, as in on the screen at the moment, like where the player token is, so you can see that screen. Very odd. But anyway, enough of that nonsense. So, what's the plan? Fleabite and everybody else that rolled. So, who got a reasonable roll? Who got above 10?
I got a 25.
Not me.
Okay. So, right, you get 25, which is good because it's probably the offset of your lack of vision, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Colin, you hear nothing. Like, Vanguard gets nothing.
F.
And did Eltris roll?
Not yet. Can I roll? Is that okay?
If you wanted to, yeah. You don't need to if you just didn't care. Yeah, it's up to you.
Nah, I care. I wanted
Like,
to.
listing is an active process. That's why I
Yeah,
never
let's-
asked for these passives.
Let's do it. I'm going to roll. Did I just click the perception button? Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom.
Well, bam!
Hey,
Elves. What are your elven ears here? Okay.
what a stereotype.
I know.
Knife ears.
But Zarks has still heard 1 point more.
Ah,
Haha.
But also pointy ears. Am I right?
I mean, tieflings?
Tiefling?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Wouldn't they typically have
Okay,
pointy ears?
tiefling art. Okay, straight away, tiefling art. Let's see.
Hey, the piece of art you shared. I'm just saying. Definitely, he's
They're pointy ears.
slightly pointy ears
Mhm.
there.
Mildly pointed. I'll give it to you.
Ah, another tribute to DMX.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
They are, yeah, I suppose. Like, yep, definitely
Okay.
slightly pointed ears. Yep.
Just got that, yeah.
It's like pointed ears. What?
This one has very pointed ears, but he also looks very like he just missed out on the emo scene and got handed soldier work instead of being an emo.
You sure this one? This sounds great.
There we go.
Oh, he's lovely.
Right. It's like, I wanted to be an emo.
He's a little
And he's
demon
like, well,
lad.
you're a soldier.
I like
Yep.
the coloration on him because it does look like more natural. Which
Mhm.
again, you could go, oh well, demon, but no, it looks like
Yeah,
a real.
It's a really good piece of
creature.
art. That's from Lizzo art, apparently.
I didn't know DMX was dead.
Yeah, very sad.
Rest in peace.
GTF in chat there. There we go. Sorted.
Indeed,
Um,
genuine, unironic F.
so what is this psionic power thing you've pasted essay-wise? Like, is this just
So
the whole
that's what-
collection?
That's the whole thing. So I cut it into different powers and put it into my thing,
Right.
Good
Yeah, that was
call.
a good choice.
Okay, yeah.
which is why I'm not renaming the other one. So
I mean, it is called Psychic Whispers. It's literally, you have renamed it. It has a name. I'm looking at it right now.
well, yeah,
I feel like you
but
lied
that's
to me.
because it's called in the thing here.
Yeah, but if I have to look it up, I'll need to look up Psychic Whispers. I won't look up Warp Whispers.
But if you look up psionic power, it will. be
That's
into
how
that.
Roll20's filed it, not how the internet will file it. So, don't lie to me, Alexander. Just update the character sheet. Sort your shit out.
So what is it actually called?
Oh my god. Psychic Whispers. Like Careless Whispers, but psychic? And something about never going.
Beating got no rhythm.
Oh, that's that song's called. Oh, wow.
Okay, so
Also,
those.
it's a guy cheating on his girlfriend. I don't know why it's used as the like seduction sound.
I mean, there's so the subject of a lot of songs is very off to the use of
A
them.
lot of songs. A lot of songs about banging. Sometimes about banging. You shouldn't bang. I mean, that's a common topic for
For example, Shaggy, it wasn't me. You know, very very on the nose, that particular song. But anyway, so this game that we're in, that we're totally RPing. Some our anniversary session so far. I love it. We've spent
It's
like
been a
percentage-wise,
perfect
yeah.
calculation, I would say.
Just complete experience. That's what it's been. Good experience, you can see. Now that is interesting. Has it changed the settings for everything? No. I'm gonna change another button. I'm gonna see if this. Did that change all your visions again?
No.
No.
Good.
Yeah, it remains fine for me.
Cool. Okay, so anyway, Flaywhite can hear voices. Eltris and Xerxes can hear two people. Sounds like two men having a chat about how much longer is the shift gonna last, and they wonder what is for dinner.
It's in common.
With a slight Evershed accent, whatever the fuck that sounds like. So, there you go.
I'll just mentally whisper, I suppose.
Okay.
Sounds like guards to me.
You send that to Fleabite? Yep.
Yeah.
Then Fleabite would say, yes, I hear guards up ahead.
You're just saying that to the group, yeah.
Through the whispers.
I think there's just like, there's a big, like, you can see light coming from up ahead as you've kind of like creeped closer as well. You can definitely see a sort of light into what looks like a slightly more ornate looking room than before. Like you've went from like tunnels that were very well designed with awful smells going through them into basically like the end of tunneling, but as if like the sewers were planned to have continued, and then through what can only really be described as carved rock, and then you can see this bit of light that seems to be coming from like a room. I mean a room because it looks like the place is functional, not just stone.
Gonna have wandered directly in Anastate, aren't we?
Into what? Sorry. The Tonana State, just a big giant circle. Fleabite went south instead of north. Yep.
Oh, it's their secret underground layer, yeah.
The summer house, yes. Subterranean villa. But yeah. So, what's the plan, Fleabite?
I think we. I think Fleabite would say, would think to Cass, or to Xerxes, sorry, can you see vision them?
You said there was light, but can we see them?
No. But you can definitely hear that, that room has people in it.
Can't. No.
Then,
I mean, we could see essentially the same thing, yeah?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then I guess Fleabite to everyone, all speaker, all think speaker.
Except Eltris.
Yeah. That we can go back into deep tunnels or stay and see what this is.
Do we have any reason to believe that these guards would be hostile to us?
I love that you immediately think they're guards. Like...
I mean, they sound like it, right? Like,
yeah.
Is there any reason to believe these two would be hostile towards us?
I mean, just look at us in the series. Like, I would be hostile to us. Sewers not Undercity, not safe. Always assume that they are hostile.
It's being thought, I assume. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. With your perception score, if you're gonna like try and sneak a wee bit closer, you might be able to see more in the room if you wanted, Xerxes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I shall actually sneak instead of passively.
You so if you want to go a bit further, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna move everybody.
Oh no.
Wabam! Let's move to here. I'll maybe try and
I see
move this
nothing.
test a little
Out
more.
and see if that adjusts better. Yeah, there we go. Oh. Is that a dragon? I see what looks like a dragon.
Your
Is
token,
that a
sh-
turtle?
your token should see.
I do not.
What the hell is that?
It's maybe because it doesn't think. Can you drag the Xerxes token? I am just right
Mhm.
next to where you should be. Can you see any tokens on the screen?
I can now see the one I just dragged. Can you
Okay.
move it to where it should be? Except that I can't see anything around it. I can see here. I cannot see past here.
That's fine. That's kind of the point.
No. Like inverted. I
I know.
can see this.
Yeah, I know. That's the point. That's because you are in darkness and light only goes so far towards
Right.
you. But you would be able to
Cool.
see the illuminated place off in the distance.
Right, I forgot about that.
Yep.
Forgot that I'm blind.
I forgot about physics. So I did most of D&D, don't worry. So, so you can see that much, right? Those that can.
Sure.
Yeah, everybody should be able to see. Sarah can see for shit, by the way, obviously. I suppose I should give her health. What's the plan?
I'm sneaking towards the light, yes?
You tell me. Like, are you?
That's what it sounded like you were giving me the option of.
Yeah.
If I snuck closer, I could potentially see them.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to.
Okay. So.
Not that I can tell where to go.
Right, well, tell me where you'd like to. How far forward would you like to go?
Let's
Measure
go to like.
Nope.
Oh, measure.
Yep, use the measuring tools. Yep.
Let's go 15
Also,
feet.
I'm gonna go fix the stream because the stream's blurry. So I need like zoom in and out. And hope it decides to. Let's get the credits in for the map as well. Just zoom all the way out and then all the way back in.
It did take a good minute for mine to unblurify.
It's okay, I just need the stream to like decide it wants to remember it gets system resources from a PC, you know.
I zoomed out and then back in, and it worked.
It normally does. I think it's just my stream's a bit delayed. Yeah, that's good enough for now. Bit more.
I am wondering.
Well, let's resolve Xerxes first. We'll see what happens. So, where would you like to move to?
Go that here.
To where? Right, so that's on
There.
Flea Bite, but that'd be funny.
Oh,
I can imagine that happening.
like oh, sorry. Let's leave it. 1 second.
So you can just move one to the right of that if you want.
Okay.
Or left, whatever your preference is. Okay, yep. And move your alt itself to there.
I have an alt self as well.
Remember, you have your actual character sheet. That'll be here. Yep,
Okay.
there you go. Remember how you work? Your 2 tokens?
Yeah,
Yep.
I can't see anything.
It's fine. You will when you move to light. So that was from wherever you were. So you've moved 10 feet. Right?
Fleabag might tell him that there is there is passageway to door and passageways along sides.
Okay. Do you want to just mentally direct me where to go?
Well, that depends where you want to go. Obviously, I can see lots of, or what kind of appears to be several different ways to go. Like, you're in a crossroads here, but I don't think you can see that.
No, he's moving to the light.
Yeah, I'm moving towards the light.
I just don't want you to get super flanked, sort of thing. Like, so I guess into the darkness, I would try and say, there, towards light and to. And he looks at his paws at that side and points.
It doesn't matter because he can't see you. You're in the dark.
I can't see your paws.
Even though we're right next to
No,
each other.
he can't see you. He is in the dark.
Okay.
Like, let me try and share this for everybody else's benefit here. Here is the Zarx's situation for you guys,
Oh, jeez.
right?
Mhm.
So, like, don't just assume he is fumbling in the dark. And keep in mind, for you guys, you'll see where the black and white vision of dark vision ends and the coloured vision of the light begins. Yes. So,
Then just
Hold
try
it.
and yes. Distance.
Which way are the voices coming from?
the light.
The light? No, I'll head
Within
towards that unless I'm mentally told otherwise.
I mean,
there is
you wouldn't really be able to go anywhere else anyway because you can only really see the light.
Yeah.
like we can see the individual in there, can't
If you can, then you can.
I cannot.
Are you sure?
No, he is.
Well, the individual is in the light.
It might be a corner thing.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm. Just because you have view of something doesn't mean to say everybody else does.
Then
I'll move the stream out for other people. I don't care.
no, I guess that doesn't help. Yeah, and you already know there's people in there, so because you can hear them.
Right, I'm heading towards the light.
Okay, now you've got 20 more feet, I guess.
I can now see someone.
Okay.
That person.
You gonna keep going?
Yeah, sure. I'll
You've got
finish up my
you've got
movement.
10 feet more, right? So. Nope, you're moving too far.
Let's do that then.
Nope, it's there. Zero limit, I'm pretty sure. If you went from
I'm now.
to
I can't even see
to
my
there.
token anymore.
There it is, there. No,
Okay.
no. As in, you can't see your token, but you can see the light, or what?
Correct.
Okay. I don't know why you can't see your token, though, but that's fine.
It's alright. I can mouse over it. It's fine.
Okay. Isn't this an exciting adventure? In
Mhm.
sight. They must have been updating the dynamic lighting settings, because it definitely does seem a bit interesting tonight. But that's fine. Why would anything just work normally?
where indeed.
Right. Roll stealth, by the way. For all of that. Nice. Okay. And what's the plan when you're there?
Just look at the guards. Try to get a feel for who or what they are.
So, give me a
Scouting
Perception.
mission, I suppose.
a scanning roll. Yep. Do you want to just roll perception for him again? Tell me why you see nothing of value. What is it that stops you, noticing anything worthy of note?
I am disgusted by the smell.
No,
I don't know.
keep in mind the smell's not here.
But you did
Um,
walk past Flea Bite, so
Walked into.
Maybe
Fleabag.
I notice a stain on my shirt or something. And it distracts me from noticing them.
Yeah, you get into the light and you realise, you're not even in the light yet, which is weird. But I guess there's some form of indication that your clothes are dirty. I don't know. Be interesting.
Yeah. Something distracts me, right?
I don't know. Maybe you stub your toe as you're walking. Who knows?
Mm.
Could be any number of reasons why you don't notice. But yeah, I just prefer to give players the opportunity to describe their failures than me having to do all the work. Right. Somebody else want to do something now? So Kina walks forward and then doesn't really relay anything useful. So.
Huh. I have my wild form back, yeah?
Sure.
But because level.
No. You
No?
haven't long rested, remember, so you'll get nothing
Right, okay.
that has expended
So I
back.
wouldn't have it
Don't you get
back.
them on short rests, though?
I believe so.
Don't
but
believe,
have I
just
short
learn.
rested? I have short rest. Yeah, so I would have them back.
What I meant by don't believe is no, is the actual ability. Does it actually come back on a short rest?
Yeah.
Cool. In that case, then yeah, because remember, you'll have been in the sewer wandering for like at least an hour by this point. Remember, crossing the city takes longer
Yeah,
than an
short
hour.
or long rest. Yeah.
Cool. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so you've got that back.
Light activity. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think spying that there is something up ahead, I will become. Is a cat. A cat isn't as subtle as I would like. Can I have a rat template?
You can. I think you'll then be disqualified from telepathy. Right? That's how that would work. That makes sense, Alexander?
Yes.
In fact, what do you retain, actually? Because it probably depends on what you retain, right?
Right, let's have a
Because if you retain all your language skills, the only problem is you don't retain language skills, right? Because you can't speak.
No, you can't speak.
But can't speak and can't comprehend language are two different things.
So the telepathy, you can't use the telepathy if you can't speak.
Right. Well,
Right.
then it's.
Does it actually say those exact words, though? Because that seems...
Yes.
Okay.
A creature can't use this telepathy if it can't speak. My one thing is that, does that to you mean that the telepathy has to end?
Or is it just not
So
used?
if he then comes back out of rat, is it still there and he can then use it? Because it says
How
it can
long
be
does
end.
it last for? Sorry, again, is it the
So
number
2
of
hours, because I rolled.
So 2 hours. I don't know. I feel like I don't have an issue with it ending at this point. If it, yeah, the wording of that seems loose enough that the effects there, you just can't utilize it, right? Because this comes down to, do buffs end on a druid when they shapeshift if the buffs were applied before they've shapeshifted, right? It's an interesting one, because is it the same thing? Technically not, but also technically yes. So I'd say it still applies, you just can't use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Because it does say you can end the telepathic connection.
Yeah, because it's you technically making the connection, I suppose. So yeah. Interesting. Strange rogue new abilities that are vague. But yeah, so you still got the telepathy, you just can't use it.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
That's fine. That works for me. Right, you want a rat, though. That's what you wanted.
Yes. Because I think A, a rat will look in place, and B, a rat will barely be noticeable without even trying to be stealthy.
2 seconds. Let me edit this so that it's within your control purview.
I think this is cultural appropriation.
Cultural. Anyway,
It's interesting this already comes with the pre-designated site set and everything, which is kind of cool. I don't want it to represent that, I want it to be that. So edit control. Just gonna add it to all. No, I'm not, that's dumb. Add it to Vanguard. Because I've added to all like I would normally. It'll give site to all, which is dumb. Where are you? There we go. I'll hit these two. Save. So you should now see one in the journal. Do you want to just
Yes. I do.
redeploy one just above you?
Ugh.
Nope, that's not redeploying. That's just
Okay, what do you
co-opting. Drag and drop a new one.
Right. Oh, okay.
I just want to make sure you can do all that.
Sorry, sneezed. Right. I see what you mean now. Right. Rat. Let me just. Yeah, it's got the keen smell as well. It's got dark vision and perception.
Does it have dark vision though from that point of view?
30 feet dark vision.
No, I mean mechanically. Like, can you actually
What do you-
still see around you with it?
Yeah, in terms of on the map, yeah.
Yeah, cool. As long as that
Not as
still works.
well, but I can still see. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely again, it's 30 feet.
Cool. So long as that all works out, because it seems like what they've done is they updated a lot of the NPC tokens to actually already have all the visions set, which is amazing, because that
Which
must
is
be
really handy.
it's a lot of work, and it did not have that before.
Also, may I retcon in having said that I was going to do this
Sure, why not?
mentally beforehand? Like, maybe
I mean,
say
only
something like,
only Fleabite will know.
ahead.
Remember.
Yeah. I will mentally say to Fleabite before I transform that I will scout ahead, and then I will go rat shape.
And then
Um,
Sarah will stumble a little. Hopefully not on two.
please try not to. I don't have any hit points. I mean, I have a hit point,
Okay, so you've wild shaped.
and I have 20 feet movement, which would take me to.
Remember, you can move through Fleabite. He does
That's
not.
true.
He does not impose.
Get right there. Exciting. Rat noises. I'm not gonna do.
I'm pleased by this. I'm very pleased by the lack of rat noises. So, any bonus action stuff?
Sure. I suppose I can attempt a little bit of perception, keen smell, but I'm not sure what that would tell me. But I'm thinking try it,
Nah,
or I
that
could
would,
just try and perception to see what I can see.
that'd be an action, buddy. Skill checks actively used or actions.
Yeah,
Remember?
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
And the wild shape, I believe, is an action. It's not as bullshit as bonus action. Because
Right,
that would.
you're
Yep.
correct.
Cool.
So you're right. I have no more to do now.
Okay. Wild shape lasts for like 2 hours, is it? For you as well? Because so I'm not going to bother tracking it.
Hour.
An hour? Cool.
Yeah.
You sure it's just an hour? Or is it just, does it go up with level for Druid? I
It
think.
goes up with druid levels.
Right, okay, that's fine. Right, who else wants to do something? So if anything, Eltris, you're learning that rats are popular in this group.
Yeah, I've noticed.
Lady Sarah looks a bit wobbly as well. And by that I just mean she was once holding on to Vanguard, now he's a rat.
So is she holding on to a rat now, or is he
No,
just
no, he's wandered off.
he's way up here? He's way up here, isn't he? Aye.
Yeah.
He going. You can see that though, right? Eltris?
What?
You can see all that, right?
Yeah, I can see. Yeah.
See,
Okay.
I'm wrong blind.
So I don't think I did this for everyday, but is it this one? I think it's this one.
Nice.
There he's got everyday. There he is.
Oh, that's quite cute.
Gorgeous.
That's her. I like rats.
Looks like the same brushwork I did for a Alexander 1, doesn't it?
Mr. Andrew one. How's he doing?
Alexander is still my favourite. Right. So, Fleabite or Eltros? What are we going with? Who's got a thing to do they wish to do?
Well, I was going to say I don't really have anything. I think that I can really do. Obviously, I've not been part of the telepathic communication that's been going on, and I don't know if I'm aware that that's been happening. So, who's this here? Who's in the green? Who?
That's Fleabite.
Is
That's me, that's me, but
I think I'd maybe whisper over to Fleabite and say, "Sounds like guards ahead."
Yeah,
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
entirely fair.
perfect. I love it. You can also make out the flooring that you can make out as well, quite well. You know, Seems unsubtle in its
Yeah.
design. Mhm.
And
Pale.
Fleabite would just reply, "Yes, yes, this looked bad." But Fleabite might motion to Sarah, who obviously doesn't see any of the motions, but and psychically say something strange up ahead. Yes, yes. Half thing has turned into rat to go see if what it is. You probably should stand there not.
Right, she thinks back, as if just learning how to talk back in the mind speak. And she goes, would there be somewhere I should stand?
And I can't consult.
What were you trying to do?
I was thinking I should ask Vanger, like, of the basically like somewhere, like, is this a corner that it was probably just a safe corner to leave her for a wee bit?
I mean, it's really up to you, buddy. What of this has told you safety?
I think this is not a good area to be standing in. Whereas
The Dragon Arena probably bad.
yeah. So I think Fleabite might just stand next to her.
Yeah, you could just stand next to her if you want. Just physically making contact with her so that she knows you're there.
And be like, I am about to touch leg. And because I guess Fleabite wasn't there when she screamed when the visible, but
hey, you can still just be a nice guy.
But yeah, no, he will, and just like give it a second and then tap her on the side.
Right, and like you'll feel her like reach out and like maybe like touch you in like either the head or the shoulder or something. Just and she's.
I guess I'm going to equip, or I'm going to pull out my spear because I have one.
Sure.
And tell her to say, "Hold end of this."
Okay. So you hold which end to her?
I'll take the spiky end.
Right. Okay. Cool.
And I imagine,
this is getting so much worse in Potentia. So hold the end of this, and then you give her something that she puts her hand on. Yep.
And then I use that to lead her over to this corner.
Which corner?
I don't know. Well, where I was, this looked like a dead end, but now it maybe is less so.
Right, so you've got 25 or less. Is it 20? 25 feet you've got left? I don't know, whatever you...
Yeah, I've got 25 left.
Right.
So I was just thinking of taking her to like here, just so that she's not in line of sight of this.
Then move yourself there.
Is this better?
So that one that you were on, move again. Down. There. That is the best one to go to. So yeah. And then I'll just move her with you. Yep.
And I guess I'll ask her. You have spike claws, yes?
She goes, fingernails?
Stab spikes, yes.
No.
Then I think.
I'm not forgetting. She has no weapons, right? And nobody furnished her with a weapon, right? So
yes, this is exactly what I was getting at.
That choice.
So Fleabite's going to just like upend the spear so that it's facing, pointing up,
right,
and then let it go in her hands so that she's got the spear.
And she goes, "Oh, And she like, you can see her like, feeling the edges of the spear until it gets to like the spear head, and she's like touching the blade a little bit. She goes, right, and you can see her like take a grip of just
that end
beneath.
for bad things.
She goes, you can see her roll her eyes. Because she is obviously not necessarily aware of how visually astute you are when her face does not even hint at any politeness in court. Like her hand grips just beneath where the spearhead is, and she kind of like uses it almost as a walking stick. She goes, my brother's favoured weapon. I am quite familiar. She kind of just like, again, her eyes are doing anything, but they're constantly scanning for like, anything in the dark. But she says that psychically back to you.
I mean, if this is like Fleabite's starting spear, it's going to be a long way down from anything that Canty usually uses, but
I mean, spear's a spear, buddy. What I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna actually just have to like swap her fucking token out now, since you've now made her a person with a thing. Yeah, look at this. Common, non, or there we go. Common, no. Right, wabam. Let's make it. Right, we're gonna get a second one of her. Wabam. She's now become dangerous. She's got a red circle around her now, instead of the standard blue. And I mean, sure. Right. Your spear stats, Flibity. So, spear. It has an attack.
do you want me to just click the spear attack?
Oh, I want you to tell me all the stats so I can just type them in.
It's a one-handed, two-handed type deal.
Okay, so versus what?
So it's a D6 plus strength, I think, damage.
Oh, you said it was versatile, yeah. And is it piercing or slashing? It's piercing, right?
Yes, piercing.
Piercing, and you said, is it a... What's the second tier of damage? Is it a D6, D8?
Yes.
Yeah, because she ain't going to use it one-handed. Don't be daft. One-handed D8, and... What did you say it used to attack? It doesn't matter, she has +0 to it. Strength and dex anyway. So, melee, reach 5 feet. It is reach. It can be thrown, but I don't think we need to get into that. Let's face it. I'm just going to click this button. Wow, well done her. That seems reasonable, right? Good. She's armed. Although, apparently, she gets a +2 to hit, according to this. So well done her, even more. I guess I should actually name this. Edit that, edit this, save all that. Okay, so if I activate her again, that should work. And where are we? Let's try that again. We're bam. Cool. Much worse roll, but that's fine. And I change this one thing on her now, because there's one more thing I need to change, because it hides her name. Let's try that roll again. There we go. She exists as a sheet now.
Yay.
You have made her worthy. Turning you a spear was all you needed for that. Right, cool. Well, she just stands there.
I guess and probably in the Fleabite mindset, just like stab anything, get too close that is not Fleabite.
She goes, and the others. Yes?
Fleabite starts moving.
Yeah. Yep, that's her. Yep. I'll give her a
Yes.
friendly blue pip in case you forget she's not an enemy. So, is this your bonus action we're using now?
Sure.
Yep.
I guess. I guess I can ask Xarxis if he thinks I should go further in than he is. I guess I can just go to here.
I don't know how to answer that. Sure.
Do you have much more in the way of like movement?
Well, I mean, technically, I've done my move of 30, and then I've done 15 of my bonus.
You've done 20 of your bonus.
No, because I still had 5 to get to that first
Right,
one.
okay, cool. Cool. So you've done 15 of that, but you've used an action to equip her. Because you used
with
your
this passive
drawing as
action.
if... Oh, you used
Oh,
your
well.
drawing your spear, right? So you drew your spear as part of your move, and then you gave it to her, right?
Okay.
And, yeah, that'll be your action.
Then I will just take that last 15 to get to like here.
Okay. Okay. So, Electress,
Mhm.
you seem to have sent
How-
Lady Sarah off to her death with a spear.
Yep. How far can how do you know how far you can move? Obviously, I
So
know that
on-
everyone's kind of doing it.
On your
Is it the
character sheet, it will
speed?
tell you.
Is that
Yep,
the one?
yep.
Right. Cool. So mine says I got 40 speed, so I can move 40 feet. Is that right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And if you press Q and click on your token and drag, it should give you a measuring tool.
Like this.
There you go.
Okay.
And you can
See-
break your movement up. So you could move 5 feet, do everything within your action economy, and then move the last 35 if you'd wanted to.
Right. Okay. See, I'll tell you something, right? So I don't know if I should come up here, right, with the team, or I'm very worried about this woman over here.
Yes. It's not a terrible thing to be worried about because literally all you saw was Fleabite stand her there and hand her a spear because I'm assuming everything else was psychic. So, yeah.
hmm
She's probably using the spear to kind of like foot find where she is.
She can't see at all either, can she? No.
Can't she fuck? No. Yeah, she's... Yeah.
Okay. Hmm.
But you did hear all the voices coming from the light source, and you can see in there, and that is where literally everybody who looked somewhat combat proficient went.
That sounds like a very good point. Okay, I'm going to move up.
And as a soldier, that is, you know, perhaps the civilian was sat to the side.
Mhm.
Yeah. You can.
Okay.
You would just know that from your background.
Well, can I just move the complete 40 feet then?
Yeah,
Up here
can
and
just
take the front. Is that all right?
Yeah, you can just stand there.
How do I move my character?
So press S now to go back to select.
Oh, wait. I think it's working right. Okay. So how far's the 40 feet? Sorry. So if I'm coming for here.
Now press spacebar once and then just press S. Nope, that didn't work.
I did not do it. I
Do
think
you
it
mean
might be
shift?
on Mac.
Shift. Sorry, I do mean shift. This is how often I use this. So try that again, but use shift instead of spacebar.
Okay.
Tap shift,
Shift.
and then press S. And now dump your token on that square.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, I did definitely mean shift. Thank you, Alexander. Wabam!
How do I get rid of this line now?
Now press Q and just click anywhere. So
Oh.
Q for quantify to measure, and S for select. And you press S again to go back to select tool. So now everybody select your token and roll initiatives. And I'll clear the token turn order. Good, it's already clear. That was easy.
Wait, how do I roll initiative? Sorry, how?
So click on your token and then go into your character sheet, and is there a button next to your speed called initiative?
Oh.
I hate that she showed up in the tracker as a commoner.
Do you want me to roll it as rat, which would be Dex? Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be rolled as rat because it's your physical stats.
Oh, of course,
Remember?
because it's oh my god, the rat is shit. It's a bad rat.
It didn't show up in the tracker though, which is interesting.
I don't think mine showed up either. I'm just looking at it here. I clicked on the token and
Hi,
pressed it.
let me try again and take the first one. How about that?
Just try again anyway and see if you can get it onto the tracker.
It's definitely highlighted when I'm doing that.
Right, what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to remove anger from this map. Do you want to try it again for me now?
Certainly. And again, it is definitely highlighted.
It's so weird. It's not. Why you do that? Yeah, I don't get that. I'll be honest. I don't understand.
I also.
Okay, let me just try and mess with her settings just now until I fix this. That's why.
Try that way.
There we go. As for yours, I don't know. I don't know why yours isn't working. It should. Try once more for me. So click on rat token. Click on its initiative. It's maybe because you're an NPC, but it honestly shouldn't matter because if I can do it,
yeah,
you
I
should
should have
do
been
it.
rolling with disadvantage, shouldn't I? For no, does that count for initiative? No,
No, it would say.
that wouldn't. Yeah. Yeah, it's really just not doing it.
Weird. Let me try it. So rat. Click. Works for me.
I've exited out for a second. I don't know what to say. I as far as I know, I didn't do anything incorrect.
Is it because you're clicking dexterity every time?
What
Yeah.
did you click?
I clicked to see that initiative button. It's the little dice just across from armor class next to bite.
I literally couldn't read that. Sorry.
Right, so why don't you try rolling again? I'll delete.
Yes, that's fair. So, sorry, I have been wearing my contacts for a while now. My eyes are a bit
Don't worry about
dry
it.
and
Let's
I'm
just
tired.
carry on.
I literally couldn't see it.
Oh my god.
Oh, and now I don't have it highlighted. Fuck.
Okay.
Did that work?
It did.
It did.
Yeah.
I apologise to everyone.
It's okay. You technically rolled that once before, so that's yeah, sure.
It's the one that I've rolled most.
Who are we waiting on? Eltris.
Yeah, I think it's me. I tried to press it as well, and mine's kind of went wrong, but I realised what I've done wrong, so I didn't know if I should do it again or not.
Yeah.
But just before I done it, see with that feral instinct that
Mhm.
says
Mhm.
that I have advantage on initiative rolls.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So-
just I click the advantage button.
It won't make a difference. You just need to do initiative twice.
Okay.
Yep.
And then should I do it a second time?
Mhm.
Then yeah.
Okay, so I'll edit that so it's the 13th. There you go. Like, see if you toggle advantage and hit initiative, it doesn't roll twice. Don't ask me why. They might have updated that since, but I never got any notifications. Right. My gods. So, 2 seconds. Then I deal with my side of things. Yeah, that'll be fine. So in theory,
No. I wanted the big elf barbarian to be running in first.
I mean,
So
you
did I.
kind of did, but this is the problem. You seem to have my curse when it comes to playing, which is the good initiative rolls. Let me just move this to a slightly more amenable position. Should be fine. Okay. I'll just put a wee F in chat for now. So Fleabot, you're up first, because, yeah, you could say Eltris has just walked up into what's known as line of sight of a lot of people.
Okay, time to go to work.
I'm gonna just have to adjust lighting in this place, so that it doesn't become a statistical nightmare. So that can be in the middle. That's fine.
Is that legal? Yeah, no, that's the same. So I'll do that.
Cool. Thank you for the adjustments. Just dump this in the middle. Make that bigger again.
Okay, what are we looking at here? I'm guessing that's just a brazier.
It's literally just to make a nicer lighting effect to cover the fact that I'd literally just put a torch token underneath it. So yeah. But it is just a big brazier, yeah. It's basically because the room had a big dark spot in the middle, because this place is lit from the columns, and I just didn't want people to deal with being in the dark, to be perfectly honest, because vision. Map layer is what I wanted for that. Yeah, that's fine. Remember guys, make sure I update the stream. So if you could check it every now and then for the map, if I need to move it, remind me so that people are not seeing the action.
Is there any space behind these pillars?
No.
Then I would telepathically signal to Xarxis 8.
8.
That's what you get.
It's not like you don't have time for a complete thought.
It's flea bite.
8 what?
Yes.
Gotcha. I think.
And what else flea bite was happening? Keep in mind, nobody used Siren the Chandra's insight last time, or inspiration, sorry, so that's still floating around. At least I don't think it was used last time, so.
I don't think it was.
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
Mm-hmm. Because I specifically remember, like, she basically used it with the intention of me using it against, or for.
No, she
that
turned up
conversation.
in the Monday game and gave it to people as well. So she just turns up and gifts it to whoever needs it.
Oh.
But you didn't use it, and then I think Colin had it already when he used his. So
No, I thought he used hers. Or theirs, whatever.
I say there was definitely a thing where I wanted to use it, but I would have had the advantage already because of some other factor. But I would have to check.
Either way, it's still in play, and so I suggest somebody uses it here. I don't recall it being used.
Is that sort of leaning against the pillar into sort of trying to be behind the pillar, but obviously not completely behind it?
Sure. I mean, the thing is, though, if you can see, it ain't blocking. Makes sense? But you can attempt to have some kind of, but there'll be very little that actually mechanically stops them just getting line of sight on you. This is mostly a narratively decorated room. Although some of
It's a
them
narrative pillar.
It is a narrative pillar. Like that,
It
the way that
holds up
torches.
this story.
Oh, it does it, does it? There we go. Just switch those torches around. Try and make them look a little more. I was going to say kosher, and I thought that's not the right word.
Then I think I will draw my sling.
Okay.
Attempt to. Can I attempt to hide behind the pillar?
I mean, you can attempt to hide behind the pillar, but it's up to you.
It's like obviously.
Mm-hmm. Obscurement's going to be difficult in this room.
Yeah, then I'll do it. Just see. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then can I hold action to sling someone that comes within 30 feet?
Yeah. You can type in your held action trigger for me. I love she rolled so high in her initiative. God bless her. So, at you, happy there? Mm-hmm.
Can I warn her at all?
I mean, you do have a range of a mile, so yeah.
Yeah, I'll just say to her, you know, stay down. Yes.
I don't know if she'd even reply. Maybe just slightly startled thoughts. You know?
It might get noisy. Yes.
Right. Is all she kind of says. And then if that's her turn, it'll be her turn, and she is just gonna take the dodge action. I think that's the best thing she can do right now. I don't know which one the dodge action is represented in all these green ones. Is there a dodge action?
Oh yeah.
Dodging, apparently, is that one. The green shield.
Yeah, that reminds me, I could have done spells.
Right, so she does that, stays put. Eltris, you're up, buddy.
Go get him.
Hello.
Right, and feel free to ask as many questions as you want. It is your first turn in combat.
Okay. Why am I here? No.
You followed a rat.
Touche. I deserve everything that's coming to me. See, I don't know. See, I was kind of measuring out. Obviously, if I can only move 40 feet, like I can only get to about here.
Okay,
You know
so
what I mean?
but you could use your action to move again. But then you'd get 80 feet ahead with nothing to do. That's not a
Yeah.
problem.
I linked the cheat sheet in the Discord again, just because it is so helpful.
Is that the quick reference one?
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Okay. Yeah, I do have that up here.
Good.
Um.
It should all. It's so good. For a tier 3 donation, we'll link it in chat. Yep.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like, I think obviously I can move in. I'd say probably like a little bit more. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I think because I can only move. Well,
I think we're now seeing why he survived out of his entire soldier troop. No, I'm kidding. I'm only
just
throwing
stay
shade.
behind everyone.
What did everybody see? Oh. Well, what do you want to do? Talk us
So-
through it. What's your plan? Like, if you went 40 feet in, what would be your next step? Like, so that's just movement. Remember, you've got action and a bonus action if you do have bonus action features. So, theory craft it. You walk in, then what?
Suppose cause mayhem, then leave. No. Well, obviously, I want to get into the rage at some point if we're about to get into combat. But I'm thinking, should I wait till I'm closer to?
And they last a minute each, right? So that's 10 turns of combat that would last. And you have, like, what? How many of them per day?
4.
Okay, cool. Then, yeah. So you're not really in any worry of running out of rage currently. Because that's 40 turns of rage you currently have.
That's a very good point.
Mm-hmm. And it is just a bonus action to reignite that fury. Fury is a way better word than rage. Why didn't they use that?
Because type of creature.
True. Is there one in the Theros book, I wonder? A fury?
I would have thought so.
Who knows? So,
Presumably there'd be 3.
were the furies in threes? I thought that was the
Yes,
Fates.
the Furies were 3s.
Right,
The
okay.
Furies were
Ah,
3,
most
the
of them.
Fates were 3.
3 is a
Um,
big number, I know that.
Mhm.
Right, Tom, what's the plan?
Right. So the rage
could-
counts as a bonus action. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, and you could walk in, rage and dodge, if you really wanted to. If you weren't sure what was happening. And at some point you'll draw your weapon as you walk in as well, probably.
Right. And what does the dodge do? Does that just like?
So that means that all attacks has disadvantage against you for a turn. That's what she did. That's what Lady Belem did because she didn't know what to do, but Fleabite said keep edgy. So she did.
Okay. Well. Right. I'm a tank. I'm a big tanky boy. So I'm going to say I'd enter the rage. I'm assuming this is because they all know we're already here anyway. Yeah. So there's no point in me hiding, is it? Because I'm already in their line of sight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please, someone stop me if this is.
No,
not going
no,
to-
No,
nobody's.
you're going great so
Yeah.
far.
Yep.
Everything you do is going in front of Fleabite. That's perfect.
Some advice
So I'm
is better
thinking-
than others, yes, but no, there's nothing objectively wrong with this yet.
Enter my rage. Move to this spot.
Right, so at this
beside-
point, just click Rage. It's going to be a massive essay, but just click the red text of Rage so that we know
Click
it's
it.
just been checkpointed in to chat. Nope, see the speech bubble bit?
Oh, okay.
There we go.
There.
And then mark off a Rage use. Right?
How do I mark it off?
Right, so see in your resources section, it should say Rages 4 of 4.
And just take the total down to 3.
Yep. So I'm going to do that, and then round calculation -1, and then I'm going to add Rage onto the turn tracker, put it behind your name, and we're going to make that 10. That'll let you know how long your Rage lasts for.
Okay.
Right.
Cool. So, and then move to here. Yeah.
Yep, and as part of your movement, you can draw a weapon for free.
Okay, let's do that. I've got a great sword, so
Yep, that sounds like the one to draw. Yep, that's fine. There's no buttons to push for that, it's just statements to let us know what
That's
happened.
so should I just move my character up here now?
Yeah, yeah, if that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Save that, there we go.
And then can I still do the dodge thing? Is that
Yeah, because you haven't technically used your action yet. You've used your bonus action to go into Rage. You've only used, like, movement is just your speed anyway, there's no actions involved in that. And now you'd be using your action. So if you look in that quick sheet, under actions, go see dodge.
yes?
If you read
increases defense. Till the start of the next turn, any attack roll made against you has disadvantage if you see the attacker and you make dexterity saving throws with advantage.
Right,
With
so-
it if you're incorrect.
So click on your token now, and then see the circle beneath your token. So there's a cog in the circle. Go into the circle, that's the tokens. And then the first green thing you'll see, if you highlight it for 2 seconds, it will say dodging. So click that. There you go.
Oh, I took it off. There we go.
Perfect. And that's your turn.
Awesome.
So you've-
Done it.
what does it look and or sound like when you enter a rage?
Well, I believe that I probably didn't walk over there. I just jumped I jumped about 40 feet.
I'm definitely sure narratively we can definitely say that didn't happen, but that's fine. And mechanically, we definitely didn't happen, but sure. Why not?
I don't know, really. Like, just how does anyone really enter rage?
Okay. Remember, you have things that happen on your rage, right?
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Is that from a little paragraph of my rage here? Yeah.
Nope. Look in your character sheet. Look at the red text column. I've opened the thing specifically.
Ah, right. Okay. Okay.
And you can also do this, but that is a other thing to consider as well. Yeah, that's about right. So I'll just paste this in for everybody's benefit.
Yeah, this is my Thor stuff, ain't it?
Yes, sure. The Thor stuff. Okay. Yeah. We can deal with that when we have to.
Alright, I'm just reading through it now.
Because I believe it's this one is the actual one you have.
Oh, okay.
So that's the thing to care about. But we'll deal with that when it comes up. So,
Okay.
That would be your turnover. Yep, because you've used
Yeah.
all your actions you can. Okay. So we skip by. Your rage ticks down, and it is the DCC. Xerxes,
Cool.
what's the plan? The elf has just screamed. Lightning's crackled out of him, and he's ran off with his greatsword into the room.
So stealth is done.
Apparently.
Cool.
He means
We're
squeak.
Sorry. Sorry.
Didn't say it in character. So.
I know.
Just pop up next to forget about. Okay. There.
Why is measuring tough for you, buddy? What's happening?
It doesn't make sense as to why.
Yeah,
You
I'm
move my character. I can't see it.
Okay. So I'll
I
move.
can't see Xerxes. Where is Xerxes?
Gonna dump. Oh, I can't even select him because I'm on the measuring tool.
Why is measuring so difficult?
Can you move him now, or is he still unmovable?
There we go. I can move him.
Can you see him now?
Cool. Yeah, I can now see. Oh, 8 of them. Good to know.
I like that you turned to Fleabit as you say that. Oh, 8 of them!
What even are them?
Yes.
What, can I get a zoom in on one of these
Sure, why not?
tokens?
Yeah, why not? Let's get a wee zoom
You
zoom.
look kind of vampire-y to me. Oh no, that's a dragon mask, right?
What the fuck?
I saw the ears and I thought vampire.
So that's the mask, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are they monks? Are the monks?
For a little bit, I thought they were Gith.
Okay. No, they're not. But that's not it's, I mean,
So we're just going into combat.
Going
We don't know if
sounds.
these people are enemies.
Yeah.
To be fair, I mean, I know the combat thing happened. Initiative was rolled.
Yeah, the screen shook,
We don't
the
actually know that as
transitions. Yeah,
people.
We haven't attacked them, and they haven't attacked us yet.
correct.
So
And they see us, right? This isn't a...
That's why we rolled initiative, because they saw you. They're not all looking that exact
Okay.
direction that image is looking, where they're all just deliberately looking away.
Okay.
I think I need to hate the lightning as well.
Yeah, that does look intimidating. A screaming
Sorry.
elf running at you. The immigrant song playing in the background, you know.
I think I'm just gonna let this play out and see what happens.
That's an interesting strategy.
Because I wanna see how they react to our barbarian going on full rage on this.
Right. Okay. So,
Yeah.
what's your plan? Are you drawing any weapons? Instruments, maybe? Or
I'll go ahead and make the whole what's the term? Ready?
okay.
Just a vicious mockery if one of them runs at us intimidatingly in range, which would be 60 feet.
Right. So measure to them. Oh, no, you hate that part. Okay. So there is room for that to trigger. Yep. Cool. So type that as your ready action, and then the specific trigger is if one of them moves within 60 feet.
Threateningly.
Yeah, like you can just type ready action threat 60 feet vicious mockery if that's easier for you. It's easy enough to translate. But the reason why we do this way, Tom, is because then nobody can dispute when the trigger goes off. That's why. Yeah. You can choose just not to do the trigger though. You can just give it up. Cool.
That's my turn.
trying to put 60 feet in as well. That's also like important. Cool. Right, because you could say if they come within 30 feet of me, even though it is a 60-foot spell. Okay, and do you want to do the Fleabite? You should have done it as well already. See the stop sign of readying an action. It's in the original token options. Yep. If you'd like to mimic that for me as well. Just lets us know there is something to remember.
Sure.
You press S to get out of measuring. Yep. Stuck measuring forever. Right. And then that'll be you. And then it is them. And use mostly here the phrases in very high quality extras budget. You shouldn't be down here. Grab them.
Oh, perfect.
And that's regardless of the giant sparking elf. Because obviously that's all happened at this point. Or as 5e would have you believe it's all happening simultaneously, which is lies. And then I'll need a character sheet for them, I guess. That's what I'll need.
I feel like my sparking might have been premature.
Don't worry about it, you're barbarian.
Happens to the best of us.
You're barbarian.
I mean, yeah.
Barbaran.
So, oh dear.
That's the song goes like, right?
Sure, why not? Yeah, why not? Right, let me work out what the hell they will do.
How long will it take to work that out? Do I have time to go and do a pee again?
Just go. Like, I don't know why you ask me. Like,
I
go.
drank a lot of water.
Just go.
today, so
Don't
I have
explain.
back-
Just go.
We're not in high school, fortunately.
Justify your
Yeah.
need.
Okay. So I have.
Don't know why.
I know it's very weird. Right. I guess moves there, and then measure and measure and measure. Okay. And that is fine. So this is against the DCC. Did they trigger your held action?
It's within range.
They probably will have.
Yes.
So are you going to use your held action?
I would like to.
Then do so. I'll also move them back one because it would have been when they were there. Okay. What are you
Do I
saying to them? Also, isn't there a button on your attacks page for it?
I'm back, by the way. Just
Welcome
want to
back.
point that out.
Oh, yes, there is.
Hello back.
So generally told in chat we'll do BRB and back. And if you're going to wait, etc. That's good to know.
In the Roll20 chat?
No, TI chat.
Okay, sorry.
Because it stops you interrupting other people's RP. That's why. Cool.
Okay.
Right, so this is the roll. I'll do a wisdom save and we'll see how wise this person is. They don't have a specific thing for wisdom saves. Bam. So they take the damage.
All three of it.
It's still damage.
Still damage.
Yeah. What did you say?
What? You think you can fight us with that stupid mask?
They complete their movement. Yep. And then as you throw that magic at them, they throw this magic at you.
No.
Bam.
Oh no.
I need you to make a dex save, Xarxes.
Okay.
It's not difficult, let's face it.
Hey,
Look at that! Yay! Yatta! So yeah, as you like throw shade their way, they throw light back at you.
to counter my shade,
Yep.
but my shade is too strong.
Nintendo.
The power of edge protects you. Right, okay, that's that one. There. And then,
Just bypassing the barbarian to go after me.
I mean, he's standing the middle sparkling, so but no, I'm actually literally about to do the thing I need to do, which is this. Cool. And shoot, buddy. That's their aggro. Just
Oh,
so
I
you
see.
know. Generally, I go from top of the board, most left, and I usually try and work my way towards the bottom right. That's how I number things, in case you're wondering why you were number 2 in that scenario. You can unpip your held action, because that happened now as well. Right. And... excuse me. Oh dear. Yeah, they're going to do the same thing. We're bam! Oh ho! This is... oh, it's a dangerous time to be alive.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, one sec.
Yep.
I dodged that one.
Yep. So much shade protecting you. Yep. And then, where are we? We go there. Let's see. That was going to be an interesting one. Yeah, what the fuck not? Oh. And that'll do. We're bam!
Let's see.
There we go. So they walk forward and start muttering some magics, and the 3 people start to have a nice red glow around them. An aura of crimson.
Oh god, they're watchers.
And then... right, this one goes there. He then measures to the friendly barbarian. And casts... Sacred Flame! Bam! Right, so you need to make a dex save. There we go.
Who's this on now?
This is on the barbarian.
Okay.
So I'm just clicking the button dexterity and the tab that says saving throws, yeah?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Now, also, look at Danger Sense and paste it into chat just so we can double check.
Okay.
Okay.
Danger sense.
Okay. And you can see that person, yes?
Mhm.
Right, so you can roll your dex save again. There you go. And Danger Sense just saved your life.
Well,
For now.
taking a cantrip.
Right,
Sacred
can you
Flame
now
is a
see...
cantrip.
now can you see the benefits of Danger Sense, right?
Mhm.
Good. Learn all these things. The only reason I remember this is because I've seen like 144 sessions of the barbarian always screaming Danger Sense anytime anything happened to them, and they even made a cap as merchandise for that particular game that just said Danger Sense on it, and with an exclamation mark at the end.
So, see, with Danger Sense, I don't see anything that says anything about like long rest. Can I use that as many times as possible? Like, as
Yeah,
many
it's
times as
just part of your being.
Yeah, it's just passive.
class.
It is literally
So
from the
SMG.
barbarian class. Yeah.
Wait, the same joke. Yeah.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay. Right. So, here we are. Next one.
Entertain.
It's gonna go there. They're gonna get their ruler out as well. And yep, they can smack the barbarian with the ruler. So, bam! Oh ho! Things are escalating. Now you can click advantage toggle.
Sense.
Right, you can advantage toggle and press your save.
And then,
Look at that! Bam! And then untoggle advantage now.
yeah.
There you go. And then, where are we? And that one goes there. And I think the trigonometry works out. It does. So guess what's happening?
We gone into victory?
Danger sense.
Yep, I can see you getting booted from the game soon. Yep. Yep.
Danger
Yep, same thing again. Yep. Same thing again. Nice. Very nice. Sad. Now, can you now see why they're using this spell when you're dodging? Because there's no attack roll, so they don't take disadvantage on the attack roll. But ironically, you being a barbarian and having danger sense is like them having disadvantage on the spell anyway. Because they're making you do a save. Good. Yeah. And Dagon. This guy is gonna go, and he's gonna stay where he is. Oh dear. Oh dear. And bam. Bam.
That's an annoyingly large number of monks.
And then this one's gonna go forward to there. And yeah, flee out. Bam.
Dang
Yeah, not within your range sadly, but I need you to take your deck save now. It should be. Are your saves penalized at this level?
Is it an ability check?
I mean, no. Go read all the exhaustion rules that you should have. It should be on a sheet somewhere that exists, right?
Well, yeah, it's just disadvantage on ability checks.
Keep reading all the exhaustion levels. Are the conditions? There we go. Exhaustion. So, level 3, disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws. You're not 3 levels of exhausted, right?
No, we are just 1.
There you go.
Okay, but it would still be the first one.
It is still the first one, yes. So take your damage. Take all of it, damn it. All 4 radiant.
And one for all.
Well done. Sorted? Damaged?
Yep.
All good? Yep. You can also just unpip your withheld because they can't move anymore. Banger.
They're not the only ones. Oh no, he did it.
I measured this. Love hurts. I have a plan. My plan is to go somewhere that is an awkward position for them and then become an elk.
Sure, yeah.
Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah, why not?
Cool. That's my turn. That was me dashing.
Yep, it was indeed.
I'm a rat at the moment, folks. My hope is that they don't realise that the rat is one of us. And I don't mean that rat, I mean that.
You're just hoping that that rat distracts them from the other rat. Yeah.
Well, I think they would probably look at the smaller rat in their dragon arena sewer and think, it's normal that there's a rat there, that's fine. The other one's bigger in its hind legs.
And clothed with weapons. Yeah.
Those are also factors.
Yeah. Yeah, that's your turn done, and we're back to the start of the turn, and that is where we cliffhanger, quite frankly, because we're out of time. Yeah.
There was a cliff?
Yeah, like everything, all of Evershade is also on a cliff.
If you think about it, everything is on a very large cliff.
Just a very, very wet cliff at a certain level. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to close that, and then I'm going to move us back to the title screen, because, oh dear gods, the mess. Okay, so there we have it, folks. What would you just like to call the session?
I have an idea.
Dang it, I had an idea, but I forgot what it. There's something Fleabite said.
Oh, excuse me. I don't hate careless whispers. Anything else come to mind, folks? I think that wasn't what you were thinking about, Dylan.
No.
Okay.
I don't remember what it was.
Was it anything about squeaking? He did squeak a lot.
Oh, maybe. Forget it.
I'm gonna vote. Fair. There we go. Any other contenders, or I think we've settled on Careless Whispers.
It's a good tip.
It's a relatively easy one to.
I was trying to think of a Lena Dunham joke that I could write in, but I had nothing.
Fair. Okay, so goals.
No. Always believe in yourself.
Right, have we convinced Charleston to reclaim his house?
No,
Have we got Sarah home alive?
not yet.
Have we uncovered what the Watcher's ritual in the sewers was?
Well, we might be on our way to that.
We uncovered the Noah Glint secret?
No.
And have we test the Wadares of the Watchers? I think that's a no as well. Most of the warriors have passed by you, have tried not to make any contact with. Which is fair. Right. Any of them changing? No? Is a valid answer, folks.
No.
I don't think so at the moment, unless I think maybe the testing the waters thing's kind of out because I feel like these are.
Well, that would be testing the waters. If the waters are boiling, then that's a test.
Hitting the face.
Remember that testing the waters was literally the water that they all seem to be chanting around. This was not a fun turn of phrase. So, if it needs to be reworded, do this now. Yes.
That seems very close to what the ritual was.
I mean, I never said you were good at goals. I'm just pointing out what I recall being stated. So I am aware of how to award XP. Right, while you are sorting out that, Fleabite, I don't think you've established a place to lay low yet.
I did not.
You keeping it though?
Yes.
Okay. Dylan?
Mm-hmm.
Goals.
I'm trying to think of what I would change it to.
What's your thoughts? So I don't think you've.
I mean, the only other one I can think of is the egg, but that's quite a ways into the future.
It's maybe worth writing in the ideas pile, though.
It's already there. Get the dragon egg back.
There's a couple in there related to those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just keep the Lord Tone thing for now.
Okay, Vanger.
Indeedly. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that just now because there's a possibility that this is connected to the Thaki stuff.
Right, okay.
So I may have other thoughts by next time, but I think for now I'm
Mhm.
kind of happy with sticking with it.
No worries. Yep. And Eltris, any goals in mind?
I don't know, right? Because now what I'm thinking is obviously if this is the Watchers that we've just found, I think after today's performance, I'm not going to get them to help me.
Probably not.
Yeah. So the whole reason that I'm even in Evershade is basically been thrown out the window by this point.
Well, no, because literally your job here was to check on the
Yeah,
The
I suppose
invasion.
actually.
right. Like
Yeah.
this is now just your backup was to get revenge on the lack of troops you now have. So
Yeah.
you're technically your purpose is still here, right? It's just that your micro goal, as you were rolling forwards with a lack of allies, was to try and gain them as allies, and that might not work now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know what would be a good goal then. I don't know.
So, am to get any ideas for him thus far? Or are we still in the pending status at the moment?
To track from some of the other people that have come and gone, it would be sort of prove yourself in combat is almost what everyone has had.
Punch every monk.
I really don't know. I don't know. I'm so
If you don't, that's fine. You don't need to know yet. I wasn't expecting you to have a goal the first couple of sessions anyway. So don't worry about it. Have a wee think about it still. Right. Now, after, this is the thing I had to remember, Alexander, so don't worry, you're now no longer
I
on
did
the
actually remember.
good. I'm very pleased that you remembered. But now I'm remembering. You can't do it mid-fight, for obvious reasons. But the anniversary present everybody's getting is a level up to level 8,
Oh,
which is kind of awesome.
Wow.
But you need a long rest to get it.
okay.
So
It's
you're
entirely possible I could accidentally get squished in the meantime.
yes. But don't worry,
By
you'll,
one of us.
you'll still revert back to being a druid until that's squished. So you'll be fine for a bit. So we are level 8 in Potentia. The reason why I wanted to checkpoint it here was in case there had been goals, you'd have got the XP for those goals after the level 8. So you weren't being robbed of the jump between.
Oh, that's very nice. Thank you.
I know, I'm a very nice GM. So I've heard. And yeah, that is that. Now, wrap up chat, because unless there's any other goal chat, which I don't think there is.
Can I ask one question, if that's all right? It's not really about goals, but just
Yeah.
about what you're saying there about the level up thing.
Mhm.
So obviously we are in the middle of battle. So what does that?
You do
Does that
nothing.
mean that
You just do
Would it go
nothing,
up
but
to the next?
because I'll have the next long rest.
Okay.
That could be 20 sessions from now. And I'm not even
Oh.
exaggerating.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Like I'm.
We
yeah.
don't do combat often, but when we do,
Yeah, I'm a little jealous that on your second session you got combat.
Hey, you chose not to go to the combat. So there's no jealousy.
I was following my leader, all right.
See, this really sort of demonstrates like how just the way a single player plays can really change the team dynamic, because like Vanger is very much a non-combatant if you can avoid it. He's certainly quite handy in a fight, but he never opts for combat. It's never his choice. Whereas I think Ultras is like, oh well, they've spotted me. Guess I gotta hit them.
Yeah, it's just a shame that his natural ability to hit is very electric. So, yeah, he definitely has the Thor Ragnarok vibe on the go.
Yeah. You know that I was like, I had this plan in my head. I was like, I know exactly what I'm going to do next. And you're like, so cliffhanger, and I was like, no.
Yep, it's the sad time about the, as I said, literally the time we'd hit. But it's also because we talked shit for like 45 minutes at the start, but that was fine. That was also an enjoyable 45 minutes.
Until the cliffhanger punches them in the face.
Yeah.
I think Mike Tyson said that.
Yeah. Mike DeGrasse Tyson. Yeah. So anyway, wrap up chat, because I don't think any of these goals are changing. So straight on to wrap up chat. Why don't you start us off, Vanger?
But you never ask. In reality, chat, if there is anyone there, or if there's anyone watches in future, he did that because he knows I'm tired today and I won't go on as long. Yeah, that was nice. As I say, like it's interesting to see like just how much just like obviously the way things went within the context of the session with the role and what have you, it does very much seem like combat was kind of an inevitability there. But I do think it does sort of underscore the extent to which like the personality of a single new character can really shift the way a group plays, just because do you run head first towards the potential threat, or do you sort of try and avoid it? And as you can see, like Vanger's instinct was, oh, let's scope it out. Let's maybe, but yeah. But obviously the team is sort of thrown together at the moment, and maybe not quite sure of the new guy. So maybe we didn't communicate what we were doing as clearly as but again, I didn't really communicate with the other guys as clear as I could have either, because I was trying to be silent. So there's this interesting thing. We have various dynamics going on at once. And it will be kind of
And
it'll be
Fleabite's
interesting to
jank
find out how they
telepathy, right? Like I love that. I love that it wasn't just
Yeah.
simple telepathy for everybody to chat to each other. It was just everything goes through Fleabite. Yes.
It can be too.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like this fucking turn into Monday again, right?
Yep.
But no, it's not.
Rats
It's
and
correct.
telepathy, right? Rat
I know,
characters and
I know.
telepathy.
Such is the way of things. Yeah, so that'll be exciting. I think like, I look forward to the combat. Although I don't actively sort of seek it out as this character, I enjoy combat.
He's quite
I
a wee
think it'll
robust
be.
combat machine, Vanger. He is. He's done well.
I don't think I'm going to get to use my spores much. Well, I suppose I have my automatic spores, but like I don't think I'm going to get to use buffed up spores this time, because I think I will use my other wild shape to actually wild shape. But I think that could be very useful. But no, it's an intriguing little situation, because they do seem very dragon culty. But there's definitely some sort of ritualistic aspect. This is kind of a new twist if it is the Watchers. Yeah, it's
Me?
not
Twists? Really? Never.
what it. It's not necessarily what I was expecting to bump into down here. So I'm curious. Yeah. It was of course quite a sort of mechanical session, I want to say, like in terms of we were kind of navigating our way around and largely doing it within like, even when it wasn't, you move X amount, it was a case of like, what are you doing to follow, to keep the NPC following, to keep Sarah, how are you buddying up vision to no vision? So there's definitely an aspect of, right, and so how are you getting from A to B?
And that is
So
true,
that was
because
a bit more mechanical.
that is like the limitations of like people just having normal eyes, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's good as like a certain like
Does
like
anybody
a
have to like cantrip? To anyone? Like, no?
I just see. Did I take light? I don't think I took light. I'll have to. I will have to check because I honestly don't know. I did
I
not.
sure didn't.
Right, I don't.
Well, we know you didn't take useful spells, Dylan. Okay, we know that.
Wow, the shade is so harsh.
I'll take
Yeah,
my D8 damage.
I'm looking forward to the continuation of the combat, and yeah, I'm a very very tired boy today because I've returned to work and was not very well slept. So I'm going to stop prattling now and pass on to whoever's next.
I may as well go with Dylan. Dylan!
It was fun finally getting into combat.
Yeah,
Yay!
you have finally achieved it.
I wasn't ready.
How much of a warm-up did you get? How many sessions was that as a warm-up?
I was like, wait a minute, I have to like review all my spells.
So session 25, I think, is when you joined,
Mm.
and then it's only 46. So what's that? 21 sessions of the warm-up. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Really fun session.
It'll be exciting to use the rest of my kit.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was a very mechanical session. Not much happened. Like narratively wise, right? Like we met up and we walked through a tunnel and then we met monks.
Sure. Yeah.
Then
That's about
we
right.
fought monks.
Yep. You basically travelled for a couple hours underground, essentially.
And I said a bad word towards one of them.
Yeah.
It's
See
a good
monk,
time.
Fight monk.
Threw some shade, they threw some light, they really didn't work. Yeah, it's pretty good. You
Please
can
don't
see
make
that.
me come up with like an insult every time I use machismo.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Don't worry, I'm sure you can find like an insult generator, a vicious mockery generator. I'm sure you can find online somewhere. But yeah, thank you all. And Eltris.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. So I feel like today
Chicken.
I was on an episode of Sesame Street,
Right, okay.
and today's
Okay.
letter was S, which stands for stealth and sneak, which is two things that didn't know existed until now.
And speak, I guess, as well, and squeak, yeah.
And there
sewers.
is, yeah.
And spear,
And sewers, yeah.
And Sarah.
Sewage, Sarah.
sight.
So, yep, there's a lot.
Yeah, it really was sponsored by S, right? Let's just.
Yep. But yeah, no, I had fun. I think I feel like it went for me personally. It went better than last week. I feel like last week, obviously, because it was the first one, I was still feeling a bit awkward. You know, what I mean, I feel like this time around, kind of easing more into it. You know,
You don't have the please don't stab me problem immediately in this one.
Yeah.
You will next week, but that's not the same thing. It's not the party this time you have to worry about. Unless
Also
they literally
stab-
just walk straight up and go, we gift you this elf!
Oh wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's it was good. I'm looking forward to the combat. I'm going to write down some stuff because I knew exactly what was, and you cliffhangered me. So yeah, but
I
all
mean,
in all,
when
had
I
a lot of
plan
fun.
these things, I did have 45 minutes more to play with combat, but like, I mean, pre-game chat does become all-consuming sometimes. It's just what it is, I'm afraid. But yeah, here we are.
But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm glad.
Is it nice to have had one turn of combat and leveled up? Is that nice?
Yeah. I feel like what's weird for me is like every session I've played now,
Yeah.
the two of them leveled up. So
That
I've
is
seen it
definitely a
smash.
false economy. It's a false sense of economy, definitely. Considering everybody else took 45 sessions to get to level like 7, and you've turned up and went from 6 to 7 to 8. Yeah, like you won't ding to 9 next session unless there's just a crazy amount of goals completed, and things murdered.
Crazy train of goals.
Mhm. So yeah, anything else, bud?
No, I don't think so. I think that's about it, to be honest.
Okay, I'm Fleabag.
Thanks
You're
for
welcome.
having me.
You're welcome.
I am jealous of Eltris's planning because I had no idea what I should be doing. I am going to have to re-look at my character sheet and see how the levels have changed, and how combat is sort of supposed to be done. And
You mean you didn't do that when you leveled up to level 7?
I thought I did, but I actually have like not really fought magic people much. Or just ranged people. Other than the teleporting Gith.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so now there's a whole dimension of not being next to them is no longer the only danger place.
Uh-huh.
And there's no trees. What am I supposed to do without trees, Ryan?
Spider climb on yourself and go to the ceiling.
You got a knife.
Yeah, like
That's my advice.
you got a knife. So yeah, just fall back onto Fleabite's advice for Falcon. You know, just when in doubt.
Yeah, but that's what Fleabite tells people to do, and what Fleabite does.
Yeah, he tells them that so we can hide behind them. I get it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's an interesting new dynamic for you, right? Like it's always nice to throw in different styles of fighting, because I think if you always just fought guy with sword, kind of sucks.
We fought guy with knife, and we got loads of loot out of it. I'm happy to do that.
What, Pinata Man? No, you don't get that every time, sadly.
But also, I have stuff I need to fix. So I realized.
I remember every day just while Alexander's saying this, because I'm getting anxiety as he speaks. You just won't be level 8, so there's no point leveling up to level 8
No.
until you've had a long rest. Don't do that.
But you did inspire me to do a Warcraft RPG, just because I think it would be so much fun to tell people that they ding in the middle of combat.
Nice. Good. Mage,
Definitely wanna do
please.
that someday.
Just so you know. Anyway, so
But
Carry
yeah,
on,
so I
sorry.
will need to fix stuff from the previous level up on my character sheet.
okay. I told you I don't want to do an office hours for my games.
This is why I'm telling you now.
Okay. I'm sure you can book me in during the week.
But
Okay.
yeah, and I do want to apologise, Eltris. If I had that other slot for telepathy, I would have given it to you. I needed to have the two people that couldn't see. I really
That's
did
okay.
not want to exclude you from that.
This is when you get close to him, he's going to use his thunder aura to hit you.
Okay.
Yeah. 10 feet, by the way, just saying, stay away.
I mean, actually, that's pretty valid. Like in the last combat we did, the greatest single point of damage that Fleabite took was from the paladin's aura,
Fair.
because he didn't tell us that works on us too.
That was a disgustingly good aura.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I'm a rat at the moment.
You are.
I should not go near him.
It's also fair. But we'll find out. That's fine. I think he has to target it, so.
Cool.
Because it's somebody he picks for it to hit. It doesn't just hit everybody in the area. It is like somebody within 10. Because I think he needs to use his bonus to do it. I think.
I
His bonus
apologise if you could hear my neighbour's dog. It's
Uh,
annoying.
I think that's fine. Anything else?
Yeah,
Alexander?
so I think the telepathy thing I look forward to trying to use, because I can do it like once without spending a resource, and if I want to, I can spend a resource that like I'm quite okay with doing.
Yeah. How many
Rare.
side eye do you get?
My proficiency.
Nice. It's good.
So like, and obviously proficiency then +1 basically. So that's quite fun. And it's like one of the things I took that was because being able to do stuff on your proficiency is so like good for
Yeah.
longevity. And I do worry for Sarah.
We all worry for Sarah.
She can call for help. Like
Psychically, yes. To you.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, for help.
So
Or just in general with her voice.
And she's got my spear. If she's not gonna give me my spear back soon, I have bigger problems.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. She won't be doing much on her turns, put it that way, unless things find her. So that'll be interesting. We'll see how that goes. Anything else, bud?
Yeah, looking forward to next time, trying to figure out the new dynamics.
Yeah, definitely. I also like now this new mentality of instead of waiting for combat eagerly, you're now waiting for a long rest eagerly. Which is nice. Nice we switch up. But level 8 should really unlock a bunch of nice abilities for people as well, which would be quite fun. Level 8 is usually quite a reasonable level to hit. Some people can take feats as well, which is exciting, depending on your class makeup, I guess. Some people get skill, like ASI, sorry, like ability score increases as well, so that's kind of fun. Maybe, I doubt it, but maybe the DCC will learn Skywrite in level 8. I doubt it.
Probably not.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
No shot.
But no, it was good fun, guys. Nice wee anniversary session. Nice wee, throw in combat once a year. It's always fun.
Take a day of it.
Yeah, and this way I'm kind of cheating because it's on this side of the anniversary and the other side of the anniversary. So, kind of cheating, if you like. So that counts for 2 years, right? Yeah, I have very little else to add other than thank you for playing and goodbye, everybody. Thanks for watching, folks. Bye bye.
Bye.
Power.